Kidding me. What's up, everybody? All right. Getting this stream started a bit later than I wanted to, but that's okay. Reason I didn't schedule anything this morning was because I didn't know what kind of evening I was going to have. Uh, just got the kids down, and my wife is not feeling the greatest. So I didn't want to just, after we had dinner and a movie, just, bail. So I made sure everybody was down and everything's going smoothly. So what's up? How's it going? How's it going, everybody? It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday night. It's been a crazy week for me. How's it been going for you all? This is hopefully we get people stopping by the stream today. Yeah, we haven't had a one of these streams in a minute. In a minute. Oh, what's up, Cable? How's it going? How's it going, sir? Good to see you. Good to see you. But there hasn't been a whole lot of stuff to talk about for Lorcana, and yeah, so we're going to be talking about hopefully we're going to be talking about some stuff. So we haven't even touched on the lawsuit. Have not talked about the lawsuit at all because that's fun. It's a whole lot of fun. I mean, depends on who you are. If it's fun or not, it is what it is, right? So yeah, we've got a few things to touch on. I saw we got a new card ish, kind of. Yeah. It's okay. I mean, it's a card. All right. So yeah, I know we kind of just threw this on last minute, but that's okay. That's all right. Like I said, I didn't want to schedule it for 8:30 and then just not leave the stream hanging for like 30 minutes. So since I didn't know kind of my timetable for the evening, I left a little bit open. So yeah, that's kind of where things are at. So mini ninja, you had mentioned earlier. You said you're super excited for this game. Is it going to be mobile or just PC? I can't remember. I'm assuming you were referring to DC Dual Force. And as of now, it's just PC. They're supposed to be bringing it to mobile. We'll see, but it's probably not gonna happen this year. Yeah. And then as far as the lawsuit, yeah, we're talking about the Ravensburger Upper Deck v Ravensburger / Ryan Miller. Yeah, that's a whole kebab. I don't even know what the word kebab means. I was thinking of the word debacle, and somehow kebab came out. Debacle kebab. It's been that kind of week. All right, it has been that kind of week, and we're starting it off on the right foot. That's right. We're having a good time. So I've got my Diet Coke. Got my Diet Coke all ready to go. I should probably just grab my. I think. Oh wait, I forgot that light. Hang on. There we go. Food on the brain. I mean, I got a lot of stuff on my brain. A lot of stuff. All right. So let me, what I'm going to do. Hopefully we've got some people in here who've got a lot more thoughts than I do. Okay. And we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what we'll see. All right. So, yeah, I see some people. I see some people hanging out. All right. And let's see. There. Oh, so first of all, can someone please tell me what the whole are we really doing Disney movie tier lists? Is that what we're doing? Like really? Like can someone please explain to me what is going on here? Why number one, who started it and who thought it would be a good idea to do it? And first of all, if you're going to do a Disney movie tier list, are we really putting on stuff we haven't seen and like never heard of? Like, come on. What are we doing? What are we doing, people? I'll call you out. I will call you guys out. And you know what? Well, we've got since we've got people hanging out, we're gonna bring them in. We're gonna bring them in so I can stop talking to myself. All right, because I know everybody loves it when I talk to myself. But we're gonna bring on somebody who I haven't talked to in a long time, in a long Treasure Planet number one. Treasure Planet number one. You make a valid argument. You make a good argument. That's all you got to say. It's Treasure Planet number one. I mean, there's not much more that can be said. We're gonna bring on somebody who I haven't talked to in a minute, and that is our friend, my friend Jonty Sparrow, who feels like I haven't talked to in forever, for many ages. So we're gonna see if we catch him off guard. Are we catching him off guard?
Never. I'm a trained professional.
You're a trained professional. What's up, buddy? How's it going?
I'm doing well. I'd just like to say that before we get started, that due to recent events, I do have my lawyer listening in on this and advising me on how to speak moving forward. Because I don't know if people know this, that I did a video once where I talked about a game, and seeing as Dan does videos where he talks about games, I am planning on suing him, because obviously that is something that I can own. I'm doing well, my friend. It's been 2 months since the last one of these. I looked it up.
Yeah. It's been a while. It's been a long time. So how are you, man? How are things?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I've been out of the Lorcana bubble, honestly, for a little while, much like yourself. Obviously, keeping up with it, chatting in the Discords and stuff. But I haven't done a video in a few weeks because there hasn't been that much. Like recently, there has been some new cards, which I'm assuming we're going to take a look at tonight. Mm-hmm. But every time I've thought, oh yeah, I'll do a video tonight, there's been a couple more cards, and I've gone, okay, well, tomorrow then maybe I'll get, and then there's been another card, and then I'll say, okay, tomorrow I'll get, and it's just backed up on me a little bit, honestly. So yeah, I've got to, I'm still, super hyped, really enjoying it, looking forward to Gen Con, but yeah, other news has been, it put a little bit of a cloud over it all, honestly. I won't lie,
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on, honestly, like that I'm kind of interested in. In fact, I know Joey actually posted this last night, but I was a guest on another podcast that I don't know when this episode will air, but one of our not latest, but Joey was a guest on our podcast. I can't remember what episode it was a while ago, but he's starting up like this, gamer parent podcast. Had a great conversation. And I had, we were talking about kids and getting them into, TCGs, and, I brought up Lorcana because he had mentioned, like about Magic. And I'm like, like for me, Magic is one of those games where I'm like, just the theme and the art, just that's like, I don't want to, I feel like I have to wait, to get my kids to get my kids into Magic, and like Lorcana with the Disney element is something that, I feel more comfortable giving to them when they're a little bit younger, so
yeah, like mechanically, but yeah, also I never really thought much about like artistically, but yeah, you're kind of right. Like, that Lorcana's safe, right? Like, your kid's not going to open a card and be like, what's this on here, Daddy? Oh, let me look. Oh, it's a guy getting nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah, like that, or Flesh and Blood, with like so it was a fun conversation. Looking forward to when that releases. So, but yeah, I brought up Lorcana because that was one of the reasons where, like, I was kind of excited about Lorcana. Throwing that in front of my kids, and they'll just be like, "Oh, look, it's Mickey on a card. Cool, yeah. All right, let's get into it."
My little boy will be 6 pretty soon. So I don't think he's quite there with that sort of stuff yet. We play board games. He's super into a lot of board games, but I don't quite think he'd manage a game of a trading card yet. And also, I'll be honest with you, much to my disdain, has his mother's uninterest in movies. Like I'm a huge movie fan myself, and always sitting him down to watch stuff. But he gets like 25 minutes in, and he's like, "Can we not just watch Bluey?" Like, And don't get me wrong, Bluey's great, but yeah, anything more than 20 minutes, he's the Netflix, the YouTube generation, right? Like it's like 15-minute bites, and he's done.
Yep. All right, we're gonna bring in my partner in crime. Looks like Jimbo. Jimbo has joined the stream. Jim, what's up, dude?
Can you guys hear me?
There he is.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I see Jim got the memo about collared shirts.
Hello
there.
Yeah.
Trying to, just up the quality of the thing a little bit.
Right, you guys can hear me?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. Yeah, we can hear you.
Cool.
So, did you just wake up, Jim?
No, a little bit ago. I've been up for. I was playing some Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster.
Gotcha. Tyler, how have some people been able to play Lorcana on PC? I'm very curious how many mods there are for TTS out there. There's probably like 4 or 5. I know there's been quite a few people who have built some different mods for TTS. I'm also aware that somebody is like building not a mod within TTS, but it's like a self-contained game almost. I've seen like snippets, bits and pieces of it. So who knows where that'll go, but they'll probably receive a cease and desist.
It's how clever you are about, like, because you're talking about can I say what it's called? Sorry, Can I say what it's called? Okay, well, I don't know. It's called Pixelborn, I think, is the one.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And I think the thing is that there's no actual Lorcana content in it. Once you've downloaded it, you can then upload to the system your own images, much like Tabletop Simulator. And I think that apparently that's how you get around some of the legal issues, I think.
Yeah. I know Cabled's piping up in chat, says he's built one of the mods. I'm honestly very interested, when it comes to this stuff, tabletop games, and then people building these, mods in TTS. I really am very interested and curious how much these devs and publishers pay attention to that stuff. And then if something gets too big, they'll just be like, "Yeah, we need to stop this. Yeah, this week, because we're just missing out on some money here." I have no knowledge. I got no idea whatsoever. But it's just one of those things that's always been kind of intriguing and interesting to me.
I wonder if it's a bit like like when there's like a Mickey Mouse painted on the side of an ice cream van, or a Bugs Bunny on a ride at a traveling fair, and it's like it's just not worth it. It's not worth them going after it, kind of thing, Yeah.
All right. Well, before we get too further along in this conversation, we have a new content creator joining us for the stream today. And I will be yelled at if I don't pronounce this correctly. And you got it. Okay.
I got it. Show me the name.
All right, Jim. So go to private chat, and then you've got the name right there. Okay. All right. And do you tell me when you're ready, Jim? You got it?
No.
All right. So we're gonna bring into the chat Wero. Wero. Okay. And Wero is a content creator who is new to the Lorcana scene. Checked out his channel a couple days ago, and looks like he was doing some Villainous content before this as well. So, Wero, how are you, sir?
Hello. I did want to bring up 2 things that have already been discussed previously. So first off, the tier list is my fault. I made the tier list and I posted it to the Lorcana HQ server. Just like people were talking about it. The second thing I want to bring up with regards to Pixelborn being this sort of like free-to-play thing that was made by a community member. There a very similar thing actually happened with Dominion. So Dominion is a deck builder, is kind of the first deck builder, and then you had like Ascension and Clank and all these other things. There was a Hogwarts deck builder, but Dominion had something called Isotropic, and it was an in-browser. You could just play Dominion. You could play with all the cards, all the expansions, and whenever a new expansion dropped, they would add in all the new cards. And it was very minimalist, just like a white background. It was mostly text-based with like little tiny pictures for the cards, but it was very popular, and a lot of people got into Dominion because it was so easy to play it online, because Isotropic existed. So the Dominion community really expanded because of that. And the creator was perfectly happy letting this happen. He actually did play testing on it. because it was such a good implementation. It wasn't until the publisher made an official of their own implementation that they took down isotropic. And even then, they still did play testing on isotropic for a couple more sets. But what happened was that the official implementations were garbage, and then they got sold off to someone else who decided to make their own implementation of the ground up, which was also garbage, until finally some community members who had started off on isotropic were like, hey, we can do this better. Here is it. We already programmed it. Just slap a price tag on it and we can run with this. And that's the current in-browser implementation of it, is sort of harkening back to that. So I think these sorts of things like Pixelborn are very good for a burgeoning gaming community, because it is easy access for new players for this, what might otherwise be a very small player base to start, and it can get people into the community and get people active, and then you can start being like, okay, let's make an official one.
Yeah, I've never really said it's good or bad. My only argument has only ever been, I'm pretty sure it's illegal. that's my only argument. That's my only argument. And I'm fully on board with. I think all of these implementations are good for communities for sure. But whenever you have someone who is basically saying, we own this, we are not making money, we can now sue you and have the legal grounds to do so, then that's why I'm just like, I ain't touching that.
I mean, I'm definitely not donating to the guy's Patreon or anything. I am making use of it. I've played a bit. I actually quite like the client. It's a lot easier to use than Tabletop Simulator right now, I think. There are a couple glitches which can get annoying if you run into them. Like there was one point where I was trying to challenge with Mulan and she was refusing to challenge. I was like, oh, I want to challenge. But one of my next video that I'm putting out is going to be a gameplay video for the deck archetype that I had previously made a video for, the Amethyst Swarm. So we're going to fart out all these tiny purple things. This is making me hate life right now, because I streamed it to Twitch because I'm thinking, okay, Twitch, I can download from Twitch and then edit that and make a YouTube video out of it. And downloading from Twitch is awful. My desktop kept getting download failures or network errors or whatever after telling me this is going to take 2 days to download, and it's like a 2 gigabyte file, which like Steam downloads a 2 gigabyte game in like half an hour maybe. So it's right now, the second half is downloading my laptop in the other room. I'm just hoping it actually completes. I'm crossing all my fingers, but I'm never doing that again because it's awful. There is a way I think that OBS can just directly download to your computer. So I'm not even going to bother streaming it anymore because I don't really have Twitch games.
If you use OBS, you can record and stream at the same time through OBS. I don't use OBS anymore. I've got other setups, but so we've got a couple things in chat already. So we've got a question from Tyler. All right, so we've got Tyler asks favorite Lorcana card and least favorite so far, and it looks like his favorite is Tigger. Does anyone have a favorite Lorcana card so far?
I can tell you my least favorite.
Yes, I know what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
Genie.
I was tempted to say he was my favorite. I think he's just a superb design. The fact that he isn't inkable makes you really think hard about how you make up your deck if you're going to include him. But yeah, it can really suck if he's played 3 times against you.
So you just said, since he's not inkable, he's a bad card.
No, I didn't say he was bad. I was saying you have to consider your deck construction because you don't want. That
means bad card, not a staple, not good enough to be thrown into every deck.
No,
garbage.
It's not garbage. It's a good card. It's a very good card. No, because if you can get Genie out.
Welcome to the stream.
It's like I'm getting. I don't know what side I'm getting barraged on. Where's the pirates? But no, once this
Fire the cannons.
Fire the cannons. And once this thing finally downloads and I can get this video gameplay out, you'll see that like Genie and because I put too many non-inkable cards in the deck, I think, because I had Maleficent Biding Her Time and Rafiki, Mysterious Sage, and Beast Wolfsbane, and Genie on the job. And I think that was too many because I kept getting, oh, I have a hand of all Rafikis. I can't ink anything. And that's why I took Lady Tremaine out in the first place. I was like, this is too slow.
Yeah.
But
so we're building decks with an incomplete card pool. All right. Yes.
Well,
Jim, you love doing that, right? You love doing that, right, Jim?
What's surprising me is how well that's
digital.
working. Like, I am surprised how much fun I'm having, even with not even half the set out. And I can tell there's gaps. There's stuff we don't have. We don't have any board clears. There's the only control tools we have right now are like stuff like Elsa and Iago, and like there should be more of that. And I think once we do see more of the card pool, there'll the Amethyst Swarm stuff, especially like the Amber Amethyst, where it's like how fast can I get Stitch out, and then I just draw my deck and fill the board. Once we get like board clears, that will be less of a dominant strategy, I think.
So Jim, well, give us your reason for not wanting to build any decks right now.
I just want all the cards, man. I just want all the cards.
I'm with you.
Hang on. Hey, John Frankie.
Oh,
Thanks for that $5 donation. This content is true comedy gold.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm here all day, dude. I'm here all day.
All right. Continue with your assessment there, Jimbo.
Yeah, I want to have all the cards. There's going to be times where if I'm play testing anything and I'm like, oh man, I really wish there was some card like this, or if I knew about this card a week ago, I could have thrown it into the deck. It would have been better. Or completely add to an archetype that you were already wanting to play. It's just not there yet. So I'm kind of just trying to relax a little bit, not get all into the play testing with half the cards. I don't know if we're even at half.
I don't even know if
we're not at half. I think we're at 86 out of 204. But counterpoint to that, I'm actually really enjoying that it's like we have a meta shakeup every week because there's a new.
But it's not a meta. Come on, it's not a meta.
Okay, it is a meta.
There's no meta. I mean,
no, because like this week we got Goofy. So Goofy's the new Amber bodyguard, and he is making Amber decks work. He
and then it'll
so
change
much.
Next week.
I know. I like that. I am enjoying that because it's so much fun. Like I'm finding it's exciting because it's like, oh, I can do this new thing. Like, yeah, like you were saying, oh, maybe this deck would work if I had that, and then that tool shows up. Like, yeah. So I'm enjoying playing, sort of like progressively seeing more and more and seeing that influence. And honestly, I think it'd be cool if there were TCG that worked like that, where there was a new card like every week. That would probably just be ridiculous logistically, but I'm having fun.
Yeah. It's like,
okay, I want to see Steel Lilo. I absolutely want to see Steel Lilo because she is a gun.
Oh, the astronaut.
I want to see Lilo with a gun. I want to know what Lilo with a gun does.
Lilo with a fake space gun.
It's still a gun.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
No, it's real.
It's real.
It shoots plasma bolts, but it's a gun.
Overexerted makes a good point. He says pretty much describing Marvel Snap. LOL. But the problem is you can't get those cards, those new ones that come. It's here's a card, and who knows when it'll show up in your collector's reserve. Haha, got you now. Give us $100. Yeah.
Okay, I haven't touched Marvel Snap at all. I'm kind of burnt on digital only games. I did Hearthstone for a couple years, and then the Witchwood expansion happened, and then there was the Baku Moon Eater and Gen Greymane, who was like, oh, it's a deck restriction. You can only do odd or even cards in your deck, but if you do that, you get a better hero power. But like the better hero power more than makes up for like the missing cards in the deck, and they were just awful to play against, and I hated them, and I stopped playing.
Yeah.
All right, looks like we've got Jonty back from his blue screen of death.
Hey,
Back.
There he is. There he is.
Was I like this for a minute?
Yes,
Pretty
you
much.
were. You literally were. I'm like, So Jonty, you dipped out when we started to have that conversation. But
Yeah, Jim. I did just as I went. Jim was going off on one about Genie, so I'm assuming he's still going
To this day.
this day, yes, yeah. Shout out to our card of the week if you want to go listen to that conversation.
Spoilers.
Fun. Spoilers. Jim doesn't like the card.
Is it so? Is card of the week? Is it like Times Person of the Year? It doesn't necessarily mean like best person. It's more just like this is someone we need to talk about.
Yeah. Card of the week. So all right. Here's a look behind the curtain, guys. All right. Here's how card of the week happens. Okay. So when we sit down to do the podcast, all right, we sit down and normally we get starting to record, and then I look at Jim. Crap, we don't have a card of the week. What card should we talk about?
Sit there
Jim?
for a couple minutes. Well, all right, what card in this last week have we looked at or talked about something new?
Yep.
Have you talked about Aladdin Heroic Outlaw yet? Because circling back to there was the chat question of what's your favorite card right now, and I think I'd have to say Aladdin Heroic Outlaw, because he is currently the only way to lure steel right now, which I think
Jim likes that card.
I love
more
him.
of.
Jim likes that card.
Catch-up.
So as of this past week, we have had a total of 55 cards of the week, I think. And of those 55, only 2 of them have been Lorcana. So we try to get those spread around to a lot of different games. So
I did notice your server has a lot of channels.
Oh yes. Yeah. So we
it's not a pure one specific game thing.
No, and
tabletop.
Well,
not all of tabletop. But.
Yeah, I've been involved in many conversations where, and Jim and I, when we started making content, we had many discussions of let's not stick to just one game, because what happens when that game dies? What happens if that game goes? Then what happens
when Magic dies?
Magic is never dying. I don't know what crack you have found under your sofa, but Magic is never dying.
I think we'll find out in about a year.
All right, so Jonty, do you have a favorite Lorcana card?
Yeah, it's still Cheshire Cat, not all there.
It's still Cheshire Cat. Huh?
Yeah, since
so
it came
good.
out.
So
love
good.
it.
Okay, why?
Cheap to play. 2 lore. Punishes your opponent for dealing with it. That's everything that I love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you'll be an Emerald player.
Yeah, like Emerald Steel looks really great. That sort of like, I'm just gonna be over here questing, and if you want to deal with it, go ahead. I'm kind of digging that sort of
So Lorcana Twins asked an interesting question. Are you more excited to see Emerald Cusco or the Steel Lilo get revealed? Honestly, I'm more excited to see Emerald Cusco. Yeah, I think Steel Lilo will be very interesting, but so far I'm really loving Emerald. I'm really liking the color identity that I'm seeing in Emerald. So I'm really interested to see what Emerald Cusco is going to do. So, Jim, which one are you more excited to see?
Well, one thing I want to say, Emerald Cusco, I hope it has like a transform ability so he can turn into like a llama on the backside of the card.
Yeah, flip card.
Yeah, exactly. So
I don't think we're going to get that in the first set. I think that's
a
couple years worth of expansions down the line. They start magicifying and adding more nonsense. Then we'll get the flip card of Cusco into the llama and Yzma into the kitty cat.
Yeah, we'll call it in a Disney.
The only thing I thought we'd have seen in the first set that I'm pretty sure we won't now, having seen more and more reveals, is some kind of like token. But having now seen like the brooms get their own card, like that would be the perfect
I want more
thing.
brooms, man.
That would be the perfect thing to be a token, though, right?
I don't think there's room for more brooms, though. Like one of my most recent videos, I think my most recent video was talking about going through the gaps in the collection numbers and seeing what names could possibly be in there. And I don't think I found room for another Magic Broom card.
Oh, for the first set?
There's Oh, you're saying for the first set?
I thought we were
maybe.
talking about for the game as a whole.
Oh, yeah, game. Like probably, you will probably see more broom cards.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. John says my wallet is going to yell at me when I have to hop on eBay to buy the Gamescom exclusive Goofy. So I know Origins is going on this weekend. Is Lorcana not at Origins or are they? Do we know? Does anyone know?
I've
Origins
not seen
Game Fair?
anything.
Huh,
I've not seen anything.
That's interesting to me. All right, so let me.
I guess it's close to Gen Con and they're doing Gamescom.
Are any of you going to Gen Con?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm busy that day.
He's busy. He's busy being a passenger in the car as we drive to Gen Con.
I am a poor graduate student. I am not traveling anywhere. No, I might be going to Italy in a couple of weeks if my passport arrives on time, but that's for a conference.
Wow. Oh, very nice.
Awesome.
Very nice. All right, so let's talk here. Let's talk here about some. Let's talk about some new cards,
dude. I haven't even seen this Goofy.
Yeah. So here's the Goofy. All right. It can we make this? Here we go. We're gonna make this bigger. All right. So this is the new Goofy. Okay. He's a 5-drop inkable 3/6/1 Dreamborn Hero Musketeer with Bodyguard. So he's the second Musketeer that we've seen, but the first Musketeer we saw was Mickey in Steel. All right, and so his got Bodyguard, and then has the ability in 2 for T. When you play this character, and that is exactly how he says it. I don't want to hear anyone.
That was fantastic. That was the best Rocky Balboa impression I think I've ever heard.
All right, when you play this character, you may remove up to 2 damage from each of your Musketeer characters. So Wiro, since you're the new guy on stream, go. What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts of this?
So my thoughts, I had talked about this a little bit earlier in the stream, where I think he's good in Amber. Having an Amber bodyguard means that if you can get up to 5 ink and you're doing that like swarm strategy, you're trying to get out Stitch so you can do the Stitch draw card engine, Goofy's going to fit right in there. He doesn't cost 1 or 2, so he doesn't draw you a card, but he does protect all of your squishy stuff. Because right now, because when they come into play, they come into play exerted, so they're vulnerable to challenges. Goofy's like, no. Gorsh, he stops that. So if you can get to him, he's good. I had a game where someone threw down Goofy, and I had to spend 2 rushed out Rafikis just to get rid of him, and to try to take out other stuff as well. So he's good at his job.
Jonty, what do you think?
Yeah, I think he seems pretty good. I think what's interesting is to use Magic again as a reference. Whenever a new set comes out for Magic, there are a series of 2-color uncommon cards that are known as signposts, and they are they encapsulate what 2 colors are expected to do, mostly within the draft format of the set, within 1 card. And I think what's interesting is we have to kind of see 2 cards in Lorcana to get that. So I think now we can see that there is an Amber Steel Musketeers deck, basically. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get maybe Donald in Amber as well, and then maybe Pete in Steel or something to give us 4 characters that all tie together.
What color do you think the Donald Musketeer is going to be in?
I think he's going to be Steel, because I think he's going to probably do damage.
That would fit. That would fit Donald, I guess. A bit more aggressive.
I think it would fit more Ruby. I mean,
now if we have a 3rd color Musketeer, that's where it gets super messy.
Well,
we can't build a deck with all of them.
Right, you can't run all of them. So
that's why I'm not sure we'll see that. I feel like
you can also you can run 4 Goofies and you can run 4 Mickeys, so you've got 8. You know.
But that's not a tribal.
It's not
deck.
many. It's not many though, is it? It's not. And also, there are I just think it'd be very weird to have the 3 Musketeers and not be able to play all of them in 1 deck. That seems strange. To me.
So do I. So do I. But I mean, literally nothing is stopping them from putting Donald in. The Donald Musketeer.
No, but my point I'm trying to make is if you imagine set 1. and we all make a video on this, and it's all the 2 color combinations, and each of them is like summed up by something, like green steel, for instance, is kind of summed up as like questing with, and making them deal with the problem. I can just see amber steel being the musketeer color for set 1,
Then you've got sapphire amethyst as sorcerers right now. They don't have any kind of mechanical anything going on yet, but hoping.
And maybe like princesses seems to be amber amethyst. Is that blue?
Amber sapphire.
Is that blue? Sorry, I'm super colorblind, and I can never remember the blue and the purple names.
Well, that's why they got the little symbols. So like sapphire's a little atom.
It doesn't help. Trust me.
The one icon squiggly lines, the other one's like a different squiggly line.
Exactly.
Yes.
Correct.
Correct.
Yellow, blue princesses basically, and then like villains is probably yellow. What else have we got villains in? Like Hades is obviously like one of the big ones.
Amethyst has a lot of villains right now.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be the idea is that every 2 color combo can be kind of summed up as like you play what you like, mix the cards together how you like, but here's how we've built the set basically. Yeah, is what I think. And I think now we can say that like Amber Steel is clearly a Musketeers deck.
Yeah, I'm the type of person where I'll wait. I'll wait until we see everything, just like I've been this entire time. Jim, what do you think about Goofy here?
Cool card. I like Bodyguard as a mechanic. Glad it's here. Definitely would need it. And honestly, if they don't put Donald, is that the third Musketeer?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Yes.
If they don't put him in Steel or Amber, I think it's a flavor loss.
It's a flavor loss. How?
Well,
because you wouldn't be able to put them in the same deck.
Yeah,
is that
exactly like they were saying earlier.
Gotcha,
how are you going to have the 3 Musketeers together?
Correct. Well, and that's why I was like, oh, okay. I was surprised we didn't see the second Musketeer that they revealed in the same color. I thought it would have been much more interesting to, the second Musketeer you reveal be the same color as the first one, and then the third one be this one's different.
There's the second color, because seemingly so far in Lorcana there doesn't seem to be any benefit to playing a monocolored deck, right? Like, so that it would be interesting to see them all pile them into one color, because with other games you need to make sure that you've got your resources fixed there with Magic and Pokemon and others, I imagine. Like there seems to be no reason to not play 2 colors in a Lorcana deck, at least now.
So far,
I'd be very surprised if at least in this first set we start seeing mention of colors on cards. But it could be a set 7, and it's called Colors of the Wind or whatever, and we suddenly care about card colors, or something like that. I don't know.
Like how so? In what respect?
At the moment, we've got heel Musketeer cards. When a villain card comes into play, ... I can't imagine. Eventually, we could see for every Amber card you have in play, blah blah blah. And it could be the set that once we have enough of a card pool, it could be the set that lets us try to build monocolored decks.
Mm-hmm.
Because in this first set, we're only getting 34 cards in each color, and some of those are going to be.
Again, isn't that based off? We're assuming that each color is going to have the same number of cards. Because
I think that's a reasonable assumption.
I don't think that's a reasonable assumption.
I think it would be really weird if one color had more cards than another.
But it happens all the time. Like it happens all the time in every card game.
I think it's fair to say that they'll have 34-ish, but I don't necessarily think they'll all have exactly
34.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it happens in pretty much every set that each color is off by maybe a couple cards. I mean, I remember there was one set for Magic where I think I don't remember which color it was, but it had like 6 more cards than the second closest color behind it. So
So my argument against that is, one, this is the first set, and two, we know it's 204 cards, which divides evenly by 6 into 34.
I mean, I can tell you how many things divide by evenly and oddly. It doesn't prove anything, though.
No, but there are 6 colors, so it doesn't matter what else it divides into.
Well, true, but again, I mean, it's just an assumption that I don't think is valid.
Yeah,
based
I know. I think like 34-ish is definitely fair to say right now. I'd be very surprised if it's exactly 34, because it would mean like every card kind of would have to have because obviously we've started to see cycles now at this point. I think it's safe to say there is a 1-costed 2/2 for 1 lore in every color.
Like Archimedes.
Yeah,
like the 1/2/2/1. Yeah.
So that's so I think it's fair to say that we're going to see a few of those, but I'd be very surprised if every. Like if it averaged out perfectly across.
Have we seen? So speaking of Archimedes, right? He's because I even mentioned this as well. But he is if I can. Do you not want to open? You don't want to open. All right. So he's a 1/2/2/1, and we've got one in steel. I can't remember what the other color is. Oh, it's an amber. Stitch New Dog.
And then also in Sapphire, there's Flounder, Voice of Reason, Steel as Goons, Maleficent's Underlings, and I'm pretty sure Sergeant Tibbs, who's hiding under the deck builder there, is
probably a 2. Yeah, we don't know his toughness yet, right?
We don't know two of his values. Yeah. But are there any other cards that fit? Not necessarily the 1/2/2/1. But are there any other cycles that you had mentioned, Jonty, that you've seen? Because I honestly haven't really looked.
I think there's going to be a 0 ability 4-costed 5/3 in every color. I think that's shaping out. I think we have the
I'm sorry.
We've only seen one of those. We've only seen one of those. The Scarfire Usurper.
What's Wardrobe?
It's a 3/4 for 3.
Sorry, that's the one I mean. A 3/4 and a vanilla 3/4 for 3. I think we've seen a few of those in a few different colors now, right?
We have seen a 3/3/2 in Sapphire, Amber, and Steel. So Kristoff that you just scrolled past is a 3/3/2.
Kristoff. Yeah.
I do think we're going to get so Tinkerbell, if you scroll up. I think we're going to get a 3-ink with an exert for ability. So we got Tinkerbell exerts to loot. We have Iago exerts to give reckless, and Elsa Snow Queen exerts to exert something else.
Yeah.
So I think we'll see that in the other 3 colors as well.
Yeah.
All right. So let's scroll all the way up here. Before we continue, looks like Trey has joined the stream.
Oh, Cable, nice.
What's up, Cable? How's it going?
Hola, can you hear me?
Wow.
Yes.
You're loud.
Perfect.
You're a little
Sorry.
No, you're good. I'll turn you down on my end.
Okay.
So all right. So go ahead.
I heard you guys talking about the 1-cost 2/2 for 2-cost. No, sorry.
1-cost 2/2/1.
Yeah. I like saying the attack strength lore 4/1. So the 2/2/1 for 1. That's what I was trying to say, but I messed that up.
Gotcha.
I wanted to say that, like, I have a theory that Stitch New Dog actually isn't the Amber 2/2/1 for 1, because it's Hero Alien and
it's not Ally.
All the others are just Ally.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, but isn't it still a 2/2/1 for 1 though?
Yeah, but it's not the Ally. Like, maybe
you're saying we might get another one in Amber that is Ally, and the cycle is allies that are 2/2/1 for 1s. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So I guess that theory gets broken with the 3/4/1 for 3 with the Wardrobe and Mickey.
And this is and ladies and gentlemen, this is why I don't deal in theories, because it's all it is crap. What's the game show? What's the game show? Jim,
Whose Line?
Just talking. Yeah, Whose Line? The game is made up, and the points don't matter. The rules are made up, and the points don't matter, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so I made a few predictions about like lore values, and most of them ended up correct. So we got
most of them.
Most of them. The only one that didn't end up correct was Lady Tremaine. I thought she was going to have No, I thought Lady Tremaine was going to have 2 lore. She ended up having 1, which is telling me there's probably some real high value actions that we have not seen yet.
Yeah, that seems low. Like 1 lore for her seems crazy low, right?
Yeah.
Which I'm sorry, which one are we talking about here?
Lady Tremaine, Wicked
Yeah,
Step.
Lady
To get back
Tremaine.
action cards.
It's
Yeah.
Emerald the Green.
Yeah, there it
There
is.
she is.
Yep.
And again, she's a great case in point as to why it's difficult to talk about this sort of stuff, because every single green action we see revealed now makes her better, right? So it's really difficult to judge how good she is, because
every action card revealed makes her better.
To an extent, yes, because
because
you can mix her with any other color, right? But especially have we seen any green?
I don't think we've seen any
Beast,
emerald
the
actions.
beast, the one that
the
gives
Beast is
something
mine.
rush.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's
Reckless.
it. Reckless, sorry, not rush. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and
which to be honest, I feel is a good
card.
card. Like, I feel like the Beast is Mine is a good card. I'm not quite as bad as Dan regarding playtesting. I did a little bit when we first.
Whoa, hang on.
Because you're like, I don't want to do much. Like, I don't want to do any at all, right? All I'm saying is, when the rules came out, I did a little bit, honestly, to be like, let me make sure that I enjoy this a little bit.
Yeah, you posted about it too, didn't you, on Twitter? I think you did. You posted some pictures, I think. If I recall.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, you played with their store.
Yes, I did. Yeah, we did some proxies at the store, but honestly, it wasn't that I wanted to make sure I was really on top of all the cards and follow them. I was like, I'm just gonna make sure that this is fun.
Yeah, this is fun
before I keep making videos about it.
Yeah, no, that's that's totally fair.
So I did a little bit when we first got the rules, and then I haven't since. Like, I'm happy now to wait until we've got the full stuff. But still, you try and make a slight judgment call on cards, because otherwise, what are we doing here? We might as well all say cheers, see you in August, right? But I feel like the Beast is Mine. I feel like making something move into combat, or even if it is just not questing it, because obviously there are lots of tricks you can do to not make it go into.
I think Beast is Mine is best if you have a board, because if you're like top decking, you get Beast is Mine, like because it's just delaying.
At worst case, it just slows them, right? Yeah, like at worst case, it's just slowing them. It's stopping their Mickey Mouse.
I'm passing.
You've passed it a couple times.
It might be near the top, I guess, because it was relatively recently revealed, right? You could put them in alphabetical order.
Yeah, I could, couldn't I?
But like worst case, you're using it on their
there it is.
Brave Little Tailor, you're using it on a big lore dude just to slow them down a turn. But
then that's my problem right now. Is so many people on Pixelborn, they're playing these get out your little farts deck where it's just all these little 2/2/1s and 2/2/1s and 1/1s. And like, what am I going to Beast is Mine? Like, I want to use it on like Stitch Rockstar or Moana or Aladdin or something. But
like you said, you're seeing these weenie decks because there's no answer to them yet.
Exactly.
There's Gantu, but you have to be ahead for that to work. So it's
challenging.
Yeah, like it doesn't work if you're not ahead.
So Jonty, if you're playing Magic, would you play a card that says goad chosen character? Because I mean, that's basically what Beast is Mine is.
I see. That's interesting. I don't think it is. I think it's closer to something that says target character can't block.
Yeah, because that's my thing right now. This is what is different between Lorcana and Magic, and the guy who works at the LGS I go to keeps saying, "Oh, it's just Magic." Like, no, it's not, because mechanically it's so Magic. You can block attackers coming in. In Lorcana, you can't. Questing just happens. You challenge afterwards reactively, so it is a different dynamic.
I mean, you don't have to do it after. You could do it in any order. I mean, I think I understand what you're
No. So
saying.
You can't challenge something until it's exerted. So someone quests, they can do that. Nothing stops them from doing that, and then you challenge them afterwards.
Right. But they don't have to quest to become exerted either.
Yeah,
there are other things they can do based off of other card effects.
Yeah. So if we're ignoring other card effects and all we have are vanilla things, we just have Cerberus here and other things.
Well, yeah. If we ignore
then the dynamic
else,
is just we quest and then afterwards we challenge. So it is challenging is the defensive position. And yeah, the abilities make that more interesting. You have Elsa can exert things, so you can get rid of things more proactively. The Beast is mine, it throws a spanner in the works there, but it's a different dynamic than Magic.
Well, yeah, I don't disagree. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. My only point was because you had mentioned the only way you become, you didn't say the only way, but the presumption was the only way you become exerted is to quest. Which there are other ways to become exerted.
Unless card states otherwise.
Yeah, unless card states otherwise, cards can break the rules. Yada.
Right. That's my only point. But yeah, I mean, I think saying this is Magic. I mean, no, it's not.
Yeah.
There are quite a few different mechanics.
I think there are going to be a good chunk of people who see, oh, card game, it's Magic, right? And and you're never going to say anything to those people. There are also going to be people
in every card game.
Exactly, right? There are also going to be people who see the cards. Now, honestly, the cards look like Magic cards.
Yes.
Right. It's the rules and how the cards interact and what they're doing is what they make difference. But if you showed me those original 6D23 cards and said this is a secret layer, like
I believed you. Yeah,
they're not a million miles off. Other than the cost not having any sort of color identity and the lore. Like it's a creature. It's got a subtitle. It's got types. It's got a power. It's got a toughness. It's got an ability, and a lot of the abilities, if not identical to a Magic one, seem very similar. Tap the card to do a thing. Right. This card comes into play, it does a thing. I think if you're just looking at the cards, I can totally see that there might be similarities. It isn't until you get into the gameplay and actually realize that it's a ripoff of Rushavai Core and not Magic.
Okay, but I will say the shift mechanic with the Floodborn, that is evoking Pokemon and evolution. I would say.
Yeah, it's very similar to Mutate in Magic.
Exactly.
As well.
Yeah, it's
okay. Because Magic is in everything. Everything is kicker.
Exactly. Right. Simpsons did it. Right. Simpsons did it.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to card games, everything. In all honesty, everything's a ripoff to some extent of Magic. I mean.
He hasn't played enough Yu-Gi-Oh, guys. Just don't mind him.
I haven't played any Yu-Gi-Oh. I still don't understand what is going on with Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't think I want to.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
There are a finite number of things you can do with rectangles of cardboard.
You
can turn them different ways. You can put one on top of the other. You can make something happen when you put one down. You can make something happen when you pick one up. Like if you. So in another life, I was a magician. I spent 10 years working as a professional magician, and there's an age-old thing that there are only 7 magic tricks, right? It all boils down to the fact you can make something disappear, you can make something appear, you can make something change places, you can make something move from one place to the other, you can make something levitate, you can mind read. Like that's pretty much it, right? Like when you strip everything away, whether you're making an elephant appear or a playing card appear, you're still making, it all boils down to this. So if you really strip everything away, there are only so many things you can physically do with a piece of cardboard that dictates that something has happened, and therefore it's all been done before, probably.
Yeah, and I think and I'm usually very open to those arguments as well. But at the same time, it's also like if I do that though, then like I'm soaking the fun out of it for me. Like I'm giving myself reason to say, don't enjoy this. It's just like X. Well, it very well may be similar to something else, but if I enjoy it, who cares? Like it's done well and I have fun with it. So you know what? More power to it. To these.
I will say I'm looking forward to the card that says, when you put this in your Inkwell, do X.
Interesting.
Yeah, that will be very interesting because they've already established from the get-go these go into your Inkwell face down.
Well, no, you still have to reveal it. You have to reveal it to show it has the fancy flourish.
Yeah, but it still goes in face down. Yes, you do reveal it to show.
Yeah, it goes in face down, but when you reveal it, you're saying, hey, this is going in my Inkwell. So there could be a when you do that, do something. And then you put it in your Inkwell.
So it would have to differentiate from being like when you choose to place this in your Inkwell from your hand, as opposed to it getting there through one jump ahead or whatever, right?
When revealed to put into Inkwell, most likely when revealed.
And that's my whole point. Like, I'm interested to see how they're going to differentiate it from, because they've already established the rules. They've already established the rule set of, yes, you reveal it, goes into your Inkwell face down, and they've made multiple. I believe they've, after they've done these, AMAs. Yes, once it's in your Inkwell, it basically doesn't exist. It's an Inkwell, and that's all it is.
It could also state put it into your Inkwell face up.
And again, right. And my whole point is I'm interested to see how they will differentiate it, because they've already established the baseline. And so now moving forward, like, what are they going to do to differentiate it?
Yeah. Like Jim said, all of these games are, this is the rule unless the card says otherwise, right? Like card text overrules games rule text. Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I think I've made this point before, because I was interested, because if you're making a point to say it's going into your Inkwell face down and there's only one resource, like I asked the question, like, why would they say that though? Like, why wouldn't they just say, it's in their face up? But again, I'm not the designer. I have no idea.
Right.
I just ask all the questions.
I imagine keeping it face down is just to keep it clean on the board. I don't know why they specifically state you can't look at it again.
Yeah,
like that's the bit I don't quite.
I also assume that it's easier to cheat something from your back row into like play if it is face up versus if it's face down.
So then
some things could just slide out of place.
You got to pick which problem you want to have. Is the problem, okay, we put them in face up, so we confuse them with cards we have in play, or we put them face down and we confuse them with our hand if we put our hand on the table?
Yeah. Either of those is going to be.
But you still get to know what your other face down cards are, right?
No, not your own one.
No, you can't. You can't. You're not supposed to look at them.
Because
they've explicitly said that. That's the thing.
And maybe it's to stop that. Maybe it's to stop you having your hand of cards and saying, "Let me just check what's in my Inkwell."
Yeah.
Maybe it's as simple as that.
Yeah. That and a combination of how they do ramp, like it's just easier for them. Like overall. Newer players, etc. Just overall, it'll just be easier for everyone.
Regarding
also, can you imagine if you did like one jump ahead and you were able to look at the card and you're like, no, that's the card I really wanted, and now it's in the it doesn't matter. It's a card from your deck. It's in your
feel bad. Talking of the Inkwell, Jim, you say that you don't like a card because it's uninkable. Do you look at magic cards?
Exact words.
Do you look at magic cards and then decide not to play them because they're not lands?
Oh yes. I play Oops All Land all day.
You just play. What's that baby that destroys everything? What's that? There's one commander that's like.
Child of
Alara and 99 lands.
I play nothing but man lands. That's the only way to win in control games. So yeah, I understand it.
Because I think you're pretty safe having.
No, there's a land that removes something from combat.
Maze of It.
Reprinted in
Maze of It.
Remastered.
Maze of It.
Maze of It. And it was reprinted in Dominaria Remastered, and I was playing a Commander game, and it's like, I'm playing a Voltron deck, I'm trying to kill you with Commander damage. It's like, here's Maze of It. It's like, no!
You got to give your thing hexproof then. It's the only way around it.
Are you really playing Voltron if you don't have hexproof?
Right.
It's 99 cards. Like, I can't have everything be this gives my Commander.
You can have
hexproof.
4 cards, 5 cards.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
So assuming that somebody has done the numbers as to how many like non-inkable cards is like safe to have, do we know what that is?
12 is roughly the.
Yeah, I think.
And that's 12. Like to say that you won't get one in your opening hand, or
no?
Yeah. What's that based off of?
Yeah.
Knive did all the math. 12
so I'm definitely going to question it then.
If you have 12
Well, I can tell you from experience then. So I was running a deck.
Hang on, hang on, hang on 1 second. All right, let's let Cable.
We gotta get the
go ahead and
math
finish
first.
what you're.
So
go ahead and finish what you're
12
saying, Cable.
non-inkable in your deck means you have a 95% chance to have 5 inkable cards in your hand, or I think it's 5 or 6. But in that case, it means you can theoretically always get to 5 ink during your game or 6 ink during your game. That being said, depending on how those non-inkable cards curve out, so if you have a lot of genies, anything that's 5 cost or up, it's going to be very hard if you're top decking into non-inkable instead of if you have more like Rafikis that are 3 cost, but you can actually play those down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really up. You know, what percentages are you accepting?
So the non-inkable higher costed cards are riskier because if you pull them later on, you might not be able to do anything with them.
Who would have thought that they're bad cards, especially if they're 6 mana?
So do we think that we'll see? Like, do we think that decks can just ignore non-inkable cards and they'll be fine? Like, do we think they'll be strong enough without them?
It's too early to tell. I think it's too early to tell. But before we continue moving forward, Wiro, what were you gonna say? I cut you off. What were you gonna say?
I am trying to. Oh yeah. So personal experience. I was playing on Pixelborn, and I was doing my Amethyst Emerald deck, and I was running 16, 4 copies each of Biding Her Time, Mysterious Sage, Wolfsbane, and On the Job. And I kept running into, here's Genie sitting in my hand, and I can't draw. I'm not getting any inkable cards. But when it does work out, when I do get the ink on time, Genie is fantastic. If you curve out to 6 ink and you play Genie, he can fully shift the board in your favor. So he's great if you're able to play him. It's just you can't run him with too many other inkable cards. So you're going to want to pick 3 unique non-inkable cards to run in your deck, and don't go overboard.
Right.
And I assume we're looking at like we're kind of ignoring the fact that 1 Jump Ahead is non-inkable because it
so 1 Jump Ahead and Mickey Detective are both uninkable, but they both put ink in there anyway. So as long as you get to 2 ink, you're fine.
Yeah, so I mean, I think from an analysis standpoint, you could say 1 Jump Ahead is basically, you know, a half an ink, because yes, it itself is not inkable, but it still does put,
as long as you can play it, it's still
you can play it, and it does not matter what the card is that gets put into your Inkwell, because it ignores that altogether. So yeah, I think from an analysis standpoint, I think it'd be fair to assess that card is worth half of an ink essentially. So
it makes sense.
Yeah, because I mean, Jim, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, like when you're deck building and you were talking about lands, like any card that, you know, that says draw card, you know, you say that that's like half a land or something like that.
Yeah, it was there's a deck in Vintage. It's, why do I want to say it's called like Rolex? No, it's not Rolex. I forget exactly what it's called. And there's a theory of it to where if you have a certain amount of cantrips, you can drop your number of lands down even further. So if you're playing, I think it's like for every 2 cantrips, you're able to drop your land 1 even further. So there's a deck in Vintage that's playing like 14 lands, I think it is, but they're playing a lot more cantrips.
Yeah.
And they do also have access to the important mana rocks, so it is a little bit different. But there's that.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, in all honesty, I'm very curious here. Has anyone else but Nive like started running numbers? Because if they haven't, you know, there's going to be other people who do it. Was Nive like the first to start running some statistics?
I've been doing a bit of math stuff, not necessarily on deck composition statistics, but I did a video on whether to quest or challenge. and I did like a little bit of rudimentary math of going through, okay, how long are each of your boards going to take to get to 20 lore as it stands? So I'm going to call that your countdown. So if it's going to take me 3 turns, it's going to take you 4 turns. If your countdown is lower, you probably want to quest. Whereas if your countdown is higher, it's going to take you more turns. You want to challenge in and start taking out their stuff. So I've done like a little bit of math.
Yeah. I just want to get more cards.
Yeah, I think everyone does.
Yeah, and I don't know. I honestly feel like, you know, it's just been we feel like we're just gonna release, you know, something whenever we feel like it. You know, there's no. It feels like there's not really a, and I could be well off on this, but it feels like there's not really a plan.
There doesn't seem much rhyme or reason.
Do I look like a guy with a plan?
Yeah.
Ravensburger just got a new community manager like a couple weeks ago, and that's when they started posting more cards.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, the loss of Jessica?
Cassidy?
Yeah. And it was a double S.
Yep.
The loss of Cassidy, and obviously, you know, the rubblings of the lawsuit and stuff is, you know, who knows what it should have looked like, and how this that we're getting now is like a compromise, and you know, and a workaround and stuff. So yeah, I'm glad we're seeing
something.
So yeah.
I'm really glad with this community manager, because she's actually going into the Discord and posting the full images for all languages, and it's not just English. So French and German can have their cards and seeing how everything is laid out.
So she's just posting it into the Lorcana HQ Discord
a few times now. Yeah.
So if people aren't in the Lorcana HQ Discord, they kind of miss out. Is that kind of what we're?
They've posted in a couple different places. I was actually caught off guard when the first drop happened. They revealed the full text of Timon and Iago, and then later Genie, I think, was on a Twitter reply, and then Rafiki, Archimedes, and Wolfsbane went to some French website. And then Gamescom got to reveal Goofy.
Yeah. So like it all gets shared around within 30 seconds, right? Like I wouldn't worry too much as long as you're following some people on Twitter and you know you're in the Discord. You ain't gonna miss anything, you know.
What is that? Huh? That's interesting. Oh, thank you for being. Thank you for being happy with me.
Is that who I think it is?
I don't know. Rochelle Brady.
Are you the community manager?
Is Rochelle? Are you the community manager? Everyone seems to be happy with you, so good job.
Hey there.
Yes, that is.
I was just joking about those bad cards.
Rochelle, would you happen to have a card reveal for us right now?
I did have a list of things that they were doing wrong, but I'll put that. I'll
put that away. Nice.
It's gonna tear off this page from the notebook.
Yeah. I am. No, Rochelle's doing an amazing job. I am very happy that stuff's coming out in multiple languages. I'm slightly more happy that it's coming out in a clean, high resolution, and I'm so happy that we're not having that big red blue triangle across half the bottom of the card.
Yeah. So one thing I'm curious. So first of all, Artem does a phenomenal job with Lorcania, with Lorcania.com. For those of you who haven't checked it out, go to Lorcania.com. It's a great resource for pretty much all things Lorcana. Okay. The one question that has been lingering for a while, and guys, you tell me if this has ever been talked about or mentioned, but is Lorcana going to do like their own, like high quality image gallery of the cards, or do we know if there's going to be a resource like that, or kind of do we have any knowledge about any of that?
There's going to be a companion app.
We know that.
Technically all we know.
So, well, we could, So in the Trove, there is a booklet, and the booklet, they have said that the booklet will show all of the cards. So there is a possibility that that is made in a digital format, because the quick start rules that we got were the printout. Basically, they just uploaded the file for the printout. But again, we feel that might have been a little bit of a sort of just
Oopsie.
getting the message onto their sort of time, you know, with the leak. But so there may well, so like the stuff's going to be out there, the format's going to be out there. So whether or not they realize that they need to control this before somebody scans it in, you know, which is so. And I feel like that's maybe why we're moving towards having the full things released in English, French, and German. Like, they can see things like Lorcana. They can see that they're going to upload the turned on its side Donald with the damage counters on it.
With the damage counters on it.
So they must think, well, you know, if people are going to go and look at this stuff and care this much, let's just put out good quality versions of stuff, you know.
Right.
I that's how I feel I would act about it. Obviously, I don't know what's going on there.
Right.
But,
I mean, I think we touched on this a little earlier, but a lot of that is going to be down to what Disney allows them to do. So, like, Wizard of the Coast has Oracle,
I don't think Disney cares.
Call it. Disney
I
does
don't think
care.
Disney cares.
Disney cares a lot.
How they hang on. I think we're talking about the same thing, but I think we're also talking about different things as well. Disney cares about their brand, yes, very very much so. What I'm saying is, I don't think Disney cares how Ravensburger decides to roll out things. That's
okay. I have a story to tell you. Then I have story time. So I was in the Disney villain. I still am in the Disney Villainous community. I'm super excited. We're getting Oogie Boogie for Halloween. But
So hang on. Are you one of the people who hates us?
No. Anyway,
yes.
So
you were asking me. Sorry.
I've been playing Disney Villainous since the beginning. I started when the first set came out, and right around the time the first expansion came out, I was like, no one's made a wiki for this, so I made a wiki, and I still run the Disney Villainous wiki. If you search Disney Villainous a card, it'll probably go to my website. It's one of the fandom wikis. But apparently I was told that Disney, not Ravensburger, but Disney was not happy that the wiki existed because of the possibility of using it to do print and play stuff. So would not at all be surprised if Disney were the ones who were able to tell Ravensburger, no, you cannot have something like Lorcana because we do not want that. So Ravensburger would need to convince Disney, no, it's a good thing. Literally every other card game out there does this. Please just let us do this, because the people controlling that at Disney, they care about every little penny that might leak out of their pockets. And if they think that some website showing literally all the cards in nice high resolution is going to lose them pennies, they will absolutely shut that down. They do not care. And you tell them, hey, no, you'll actually make more money by having this be freely available. They will not care. You will not be able to convince them. I hope Ravensburger is able to, but again, it's Disney. You need to convince Disney.
You hope Ravensburger what now?
I hope Ravensburger convinces them to let them make an official gallery of cards. I hope so. But what I'm saying is that it is up to Disney whether or not they allow that.
A digital one, you mean? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Are we not past the era of big companies not realizing that if they don't do it, we will? Like, I can't believe that we're still there.
Disney is still there.
But I mean, can you blame them though? Because again, in their eyes, again, they have a fiduciary duty to their own shareholders, and they will say, we are missing out on potential market share and revenue here. Why should we? And that's a good argument, you know. So I mean, I think I would assume, all honesty, I would assume there would be an official one.
But that's the thing, is there's gonna be some grumpy old 80-year-old on the board of directors at Disney who will need to be convinced that it is in their best interest to make their own card gallery rather than just sending Lorcana and others like it a cease and desist letter.
But we're seeing full art reveals though.
We are. So that does make me hopeful. I'm just telling you what my experience was with all of this working with Disney Villainous.
Like the fact
I'm
that
hoping they learned.
I did wonder if the whole Ravensburger badge over everything was their sort of like caveat, but we are seeing more sort of full reveals now. So,
and that does make me hopeful. And I hope I'm wrong about this, and I hope we do see. I'm just not necessarily fully expecting it.
Yeah, but there was no reason. I don't think there was any reason for them to do it with Villainous, just because that wasn't. I mean, if you look at Villainous was and is pretty popular, but I don't think it's going to hold a candle to what Lorcana is going to do. I would honestly, I'd assume, but I don't know.
Do it for competitive games.
Yeah. I was gonna say something.
Okay, I have played Disney Villainous competitively. I resent that.
That doesn't exist.
No, it does. There is a scene for competitive Disney Villainous. It does
exist. Not a thing.
Jim, you got him. You got him.
Trust
They're
me.
Holding a competitive tournament. I have played in multiple seasons of competitive.
There's going to be 6
Disney
people
Villainous.
playing it. It's not a competitive scene.
It is going to be more than 6 people. I know more than 6 people who apply.
He knows
7. Be there.
He knows 7.
You are.
It's gonna one of them will get a buy, but otherwise.
Okay, here's the thing. There's a Discord server for Disney Villainous specifically for playing Disney Villainous competitively. I would say
yes, I know,
dude.
And that's why I asked if you hated us, because that Discord hates us because
No,
we dared to say we did because we dared.
Okay. Which Discord are you talking about? Because there's 2 Discords. There's the Let's Get Wicked Discord, and there's the other Discord.
I'm the only. I don't even think I don't think I'm in them anymore. What's the name of the other one? Well, do you know? Do you remember?
Let me look it up quick, because
I'm super surprised that there's a
it's just called Disney Villainous
scene.
right now. It's the Syndrome box is their profile picture. They're very grumpy. They're very grumpy. But no, Let's Get Wicked. There's actually a bunch of people in there who are excited about Lorcana, and there's been a few people, including me, who've come from there to the Lorcana server. There's actually a few of them that I recognize who've also popped in.
Cool.
So no, we don't hate you.
I'm very.
We are 100% trolling and just having a good time.
Dan, you need to put that back up on the screen so we can read this real quick.
Yes, we'll read. All right, so I'll get to you in 1 second, John. I'm sorry, but Turtle Dude makes a great point. I'm beginning to believe Jim has simply dedicated his life to trolling exclusively.
Okay, see, but this is my first time talking to Jim here, so I'm not exactly sure what to expect. So I am fully on with no, I have my thesis statement here. I'm getting on the podium. This is a big team. I am defending myself,
dude. All right, just so you know, a few weeks ago, right? We had, I think it was 9 people on here. It could have been even more. I don't remember exactly, right?
Oh yeah.
But everyone was trying to be all proper and serious about it, and I just come out of the gate just trolling everyone. No one was ready for this at all. But it was such a great time. Come on, guys.
Man,
we're just having fun here.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'll learn when you're being sarcastic. I'll learn that with time.
Jim is a captain.
I'm always sarcastic.
Not quite learning enough about the game he's talking about, and then just coming in with the hot takes to people who pretty much live the shit. And then Jin comes in.
Look,
it's not inkable, so it's obviously
I
terrible.
have written literal strategy articles for Disney Villainous. There's on the wiki. I have paragraphs for each villain. This is how you win.
I'm super surprised
I know
there's a competitive scene, because in my limited experience with the game, I thought it was massively asymmetrical, and I'm shocked that there's a competitive scene, because I didn't think it could be considered a competitive game just because of how varying the levels of difficulty come.
But that's
so It's hilarious, John T, right? Because when we were doing quite a bit of Villainous content for a while, and then we had done a podcast episode or two about the game, and we were basically saying, like, in our opinion, we did not think Disney Villainous is a competitive game. And then we did an entire episode basically about casual versus competitive games and what we thought described a good competitive game. And when we started talking about Disney Villainous, there were a bunch of people in the comments basically saying, "You guys have no idea what you're talking about. It totally is a competitive game. We play yada yada yada."
I misunderstood. When you said hate us, I thought you were referring to the Lorcana community. I didn't know you meant
no,
me and Jim.
These guys.
No, me and Jim.
He's like, in that case, yeah, we hate.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay, I do. It may have been you. It may have been someone else. I do remember a video from like a year or two ago that was like, "Oh, this game isn't all that competitive." But no, like I have done Twitch streams of commentary on Disney Villainous games that have been just nail biting. Now, Disney Villainous is intensely competitive. What pissed? Okay,
Continue.
I also, as you may have seen if you looked at my YouTube channel, one of my videos, it's almost 20 minutes long, is about how I don't like the Marvel and Star Wars versions of Villainous. And this is probably what I am not probably in Ravensburger's best books right now because of that. But I think it's good to criticize. If you don't like something, say you don't like it. If you have a problem with something, say what your problem is. And I have issues with the Marvel and Star Wars iterations of Villainous. I don't think they are as competitive as Disney. I think Marvel is fine if you're playing with like 5 people and you're just there to have fun. You can't do like a tournament of Marvel Villainous. It's just not going to work. And if you want to hear all my reasons, I have a 20-minute video. Go find it on my YouTube channel.
He doesn't speak for the rest of us, Rochelle. We
so
love you.
Okay, like you say you prefer Disney Villainous over Marvel, but Disney Villainous is inherently more casual than Marvel Villainous.
No, it's not.
It's not
it
as
absolutely is not.
Look,
no.
Here's the thing.
Hard
You're
disagree.
able to do stuff on your opponent's board.
That doesn't matter. That's more interactive. That's more interactive.
Zero sense. More control is a huge part of every single metagame in everything. You don't get control in the other one. You're going to be like, "Oh, I'm going to fate you. Oh, look, I got nothing. Now let me go blow up some stuff on your board."
You need to play the game more. You need to fate more. Like that.
I
Marvel
fate every turn.
More interactive.
All right, I fate every turn. You can ask Dan. Dan, tell him. I fate every turn.
Tell him, Dan.
Okay.
Get him.
You fate well. John, my issue with Star Wars Villainous is the split into 2 currencies, and I don't like that fate vehicles decrease your hand size. It slows the game down massively. It's awful. I wish that didn't happen because I'm a massive Star Wars fan. I would have loved a good Star Wars Villainous thing. But no, Disney is very competitive.
So my one question will be, okay, what metric are you basing this off of, that Disney Villainous is competitive and Marvel Villainous is not? What metric are you pointing to? Or are you willing to cede that this is a completely subjective decision that
I will not say that it is subjective. So, okay. When Disney Villainous, the fate decks are personalized to each villain. So you're curating your fates to what that villain can do. So you're looking for the particular fates that will slow them down. For that, you need to fate strategically, knowing, okay, have we got to this card yet? I don't want to skip over. Like if I'm playing against Jafar, I want Aladdin to come out at the right time. So I need to think about when I'm going to fate. I'm not just going to fate every turn, because then Aladdin might come out prematurely. And these are things you need to think about. Whereas in Marvel Villainous, it is a shared fate deck. So you pull out a card, you're trying to stop Thanos, and I get the Hulk. Okay, I don't care. Or I might get a card that this would stop Ultron. It's not going to do anything to Thanos, but I have to throw it at Thanos because I said I was going to fate Thanos. And it's less of a strategy to it. You're just like, and it's so generified. And then so many of the fate cards in Marvel Villainous then have to be generic because they have to apply to any villain. And so there's just, oh, here's Captain Marvel. She brings all your allies to one spot. That's all she does. Okay, like I don't care. I much prefer the Disney version where everything is specific. So you have to, it's more thinky, it's more strategizing. I'm actually considering, and you can have 1v1. Disney Villainous plays best 1v1, which is more competitive, whereas Marvel Villainous, because of all the other stuff that it does, even with all the new interaction, most people in the Let's Get Wicked server have concluded that it plays best at 3 people, because then you don't have one runaway villain who can just stomp all over. Because because the fates can happen to anyone, you have some fate cards that just shut down people. So there's one card, Kate Bishop is a hero who says when she's in your domain, you can't play effects. So she's supposed to go with Madame Mask, who is supposed to be using allies to vanquish people. If she comes out and gets thrown on MODOK, who is supposed to use effects to vanquish people, MODOK can't do anything anymore for the rest of the game. It's because all fates have to apply to all villains. It's a lot harder to balance, and it's a lot easier for stuff to go through that just wrecks the game balance. Whereas with Disney, you only have to balance that character with itself. That's all you need to do. And even though it's asymmetrical, I think it makes for a more interesting competitive scene. And yeah, sure, you can argue it's competitive solitaire, where we're trying to get through our decks faster, but there is strategy to timing when you fate. There's strategy in choosing which of the 2 fate cards you do play. There's strategy in picking where the fate card goes. There's strategy in playing around your own fate deck. Okay, I got to cover up his fate because I don't want him to fate me. Okay, can I play this safely? All right, should I do this? And like, it's so thinky, and I don't get that with Marvel Villainous at all.
Okay, so my question still stands. What metric are you using that explicitly says it's competitive or it's not?
We'll go with, I have played in multiple seasons of a competitive league for Disney Villainous. I have never seen anyone try to do that for Marvel Villainous, because people have attempted that, and most people are like, yeah, Marvel Villainous is the casual version of this. We're going to get 5 people together and we're going to play Marvel, hooray. Whereas if I want something competitive, I want something I'm going to have like a 10 to 15 minute game. Maybe we'll do a best of 3. We're going to do Disney Villainous.
All right. So it doesn't exist. My whole point is it's all subjective. I mean, and you are clearly very passionate about it, which that is very fine. That's totally cool. That's totally fine. My only point, and we've even mentioned this when just about every time we even bring this subject up, it's you got do what you enjoy, and, you have fun doing it. So there's really not a lot of there really aren't any standards, when it comes to this kind of stuff. So that's all.
I do want to add, when he was talking about the Fate deck in Marvel, I can definitely see what you're talking about. With a lot of the cards have to be generic, because it's gonna have to affect specific people. The way that they have gotten around that, though, is because you're able to play on your opponent's board. You're able to just mess with their stuff. Killmonger's like, all right, I'm gonna just blow your stuff up. Like Ultron's like, hey, I'm gonna play with this Fate deck. I know exactly what you're going to get, and I'm going to screw you over.
Yeah.
Okay, but then you get Killmonger versus Hela, and Hela's like, here's my hand of glory. I'm going to keep replaying Black Panther on you every goddamn turn. Congratulations. I'll just keep playing allies until I win. Like,
wait, there aren't competitive games that don't get broken sometimes?
Who would have thought?
Yeah, like it happens.
Well, then if you want to make an argument, then the Marvel Villainous has more broken stuff than Disney does. Disney is just...
I don't know. All right, I don't want to talk about Villainous anymore.
Okay, fine. I've said my piece. You don't believe me? It's fine. We can move on. Jonty's looking at his phone. He doesn't care.
I'm just checking I'm on the right show.
Through. Real quick, we got a super chat a while ago.
Yeah, we got another super chat. Thank you, John, again with that $2. I'm loving Jim's trolling and comedy. Jim, you keep up that trolling and the comedy, sir.
Thanks, man.
Oh goodness, thanks a lot again, Johnny.
Can we talk about the lawsuit?
Yes, yeah. So Jonty, you had that dig right away, which was pretty hilarious. So you clearly don't think you don't think that the lawsuit has legs, do you?
No, that's not what I said at all.
No. Yeah, you didn't explicitly say that, but that's how I interpret it. It was. Am I completely missing it there?
No. Like, just in as much as you always say that we don't know anything about this game, we don't know anything about this lawsuit yet, and I think it's worth bearing in mind that Upper Deck clearly feel like they have a case, else they wouldn't be moving forward with it. I think a lot of people are misinterpreting what the lawsuit actually is. I think Upper Deck are suing Ryan Miller and by proxy Ravensburger for their involvement with this.
Right.
And they're claiming, they're allegedly saying that he has taken work from his time with them, and Ravensburger then have knowingly accepted that work as part of their new project. And I think there's a big difference between that and what everyone is memeing about, which is it's all cards and it's all magic anyway and blah blah blah. But they're not. I don't think they're actually, like, although the outline does list similarities to strengthen their case, or at least their initial case. Obviously, if it goes to court, they'll have. You would hope that they have like
evidence.
Documents, evidence, showing all of this.
Right.
But in their initial case, they are sort of outlining similarities to strengthen it. What they're not saying is, oh, you draw 5 cards and you play the cards down. That's just like our game, like it's not as litigious as that,
I mean, Upper Deck did put all that stuff in their lawsuit, though. Like, in their filing, they were mentioning, oh, this is identical and this is identical. That was part of their lawsuits. That's why.
Yes, it was, but it's there to strengthen their initial case, right?
Like, it's not the actual argument.
It's not what they're actually suing for. What they're suing for is like trade secrets and things like that. Something that is much more provable and finite, right? And sort of physical, as opposed to the concepts. Because I genuinely think if you do just list, from what we know of Rush of Icor, if you do just list everything we know about that game and everything we know about Lorcana, it's probably about 50-50 actually what lines up and what doesn't.
But did we know anything about Rush of Icor prior to that lawsuit being filed?
Nope. No, I don't believe so.
Nothing was public about it at all.
Yeah.
But that's another thing, is that they put out a timeline of, they hired Ryan Miller around like 2019 or so. They hired him to work for, I think it was 2 or 3 years, to put out this game. He was there for about a year and then said, I'm leaving. Okay, they hired 2 more people to replace them. We're all the way into 2023. They still have nothing. And I get it. Yeah, the pandemic slowed everyone down, but you can only use that as an excuse for so long. Is Upper Deck really so incompetent that one person leaves, they can't put out a product anymore?
It doesn't really matter, I guess.
Yeah. In the lawsuit.
Yeah, you're right. Like, why has it just been why has it just been sat around for so long? Did they actually shelve it, and then, having seen how similar it is to Lorcana, they're thinking, oh, here you go, here's some money. Like, allegedly. Everything I say is the ramblings of a key idiot.
Tin hat conspiracy theory alleging.
But yes, but as Trey says, as far as the lawsuit goes, I'm not sure that really matters. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer.
I'm not a lawyer. From what I've seen from Twitter lawyers, who also may or may not actually be lawyers, is that it's most likely this will settle out of court.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's most likely most stuff settles out of court, right? Like, that's the way all this stuff goes.
Yeah, what I find interesting, interesting, funny, how the tables have turned type thing. I believe Upper Deck got sued by something similar because of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because they did some underhanded stuff, and now they are doing the same thing to somebody else. Am I?
Yeah, they continued to print out of license, I think, with Yu-Gi-Oh!, didn't they?
It's something like that, or they overprinted what they weren't supposed to do, and so they were selling that, which which is technically counterfeit cards because they're not supposed to be printing those cards.
Yeah, and something like Upper Deck got the Western license for Yu-Gi-Oh, and then either lost it and they carried on making it, or they were told to make this many and they made more. I forget. It was a long time ago. It was a big deal at the time.
Yeah.
And just in general, I'm not a fan of Upper Deck. I don't like the company. I don't like their practices. We don't stock any of their stuff in our store at all, just because we're just not fans of them. Yeah. So
I was also saying, like, their main product is sports trading cards, and I don't know anyone who collects sports trading cards. Maybe it's just my social circles.
That's not your friend group.
I don't either. No, I don't. But I mean, I don't know anyone who owns a Tesla, but I think they make quite a bit of money. I don't. Yeah, I don't. But I don't know. We don't stock trading. We don't stock sports trading card games. But they make a lot of other trading cards, and
they're just cards.
But they do make a lot. They make a lot of games. They make a legendary series.
The legendary series versus 2PCG.
Yeah, and they make what's the word I'm trying to think of? Accessories as well. They make a lot like card accessories, I think. So,
I'm not even talking about it. I'm talking about just the trading cards. Like, this is the baseball person. He's number whatever. It. It's not even a game. It's just, I got the card with Babe Ruth. I don't know.
Yes.
Do they make Babe Ruth cards
anymore?
I don't know.
Game, though.
Yeah. And that's a huge market as well.
It's a mega market.
It's a huge market, but I'm like, who buys these? I know no one who. Tell me.
That doesn't mean they don't exist.
That's just you don't. That's not your friend group. Like you. Once you start following one, you'll start following more.
I don't know. Do any of you collect them?
Therefore.
Do any of you?
I don't, but I know a local Pokemon player.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Does anyone in chat collect these?
So,
like, if you can't find someone who actually collects these cards,
same argument. You keep making the same argument, but applying it to a different group. I mean,
yeah. So apparently, according Verified Market Research last year put the trading card market, sports trading card market at $44 billion.
Nobody buys them.
Yeah, but apparently nobody buys them.
Maybe it's a money laundering scheme. I don't know. Like, I'm just saying, find me someone who collects them.
Find me someone.
My Pokemon logo does.
We go to a few like distributor days a year, like all the big distributors through the country will put on a day, and it's proper old school. That you go along and they give you free food and free drink and a big bag of goodies. And they basically say, so order from us and not the other guy, like proper, I'm sure 50 years ago it was scotch and cigars, but now it's a steak dinner, But so we go to a few of them each year, and one of them has a show from Upper Deck, like a talk, and it's the busiest one of the whole weekend. It's packed with stores sitting there listening. We have to watch it because it's one of these where you have to go to the key. Like, basically, there'll be 4 or 5 big sponsors, and they're like, we will give you money to hold this event, but in return, you guarantee everyone sits there and listens to our spiel, basically. So, and Upper Deck is one of them. So we have to sit there and we have to listen to it. I don't understand a word of it. They'll sit there and they're like, here's the product, and they'll be like, so sports cards are big, but they also do a lot of like film stuff as well. Like the Marvel is very big for them, and they're like, we're doing this Marvel set, and it's a 3 of 8, and you're going to get 16 on the 7s. And all this sort of stuff, and they're like, and the signature cards are going to be a 43. It means something to people, I guess. But like, and everyone's sitting there writing it all down, and like every now and again they'll all applaud. Me and Tim are like, and we don't understand a thing of it because it's not a product we sell. We're a gaming store. We don't sell trading card games. But this thing is full of people, and it's huge business. But but I won't lie. I don't know a single person who buys them.
Okay, Charles in chat says he knows someone who collects them. So there's the one person,
and he's spending $44 billion.
I will give you more. Growing up, we had a close family friend who collected a lot of sports memorabilia, and a lot of sports trading cards. In fact, my dad gave me and my brother, and I think he gave my sister as well. I have a box of, I think it was Topps. I basically got the entire set of I think it was Topps. It was some Topps baseball card set. I got the entire major league players, every player's card from the year that I was born. So I still have that, and I'll always keep that just as a keepsake. But we had a close family friend who was really big into the sports memorabilia market. There's other friends that I have from growing up who are big into the sports trading card market currently. But the one thing that I was very interested in that I did not know existed, that they did the same types of cards for like Marvel movies and like other
I do
Hollywood
remember
media.
getting like one pack of Topps Phantom Menace trading cards as a kid.
That's the one thing that surprised me. I'm like, I didn't know that was a thing. Because growing up, I always knew sports trading cards were big in the circles that I was a part of. But I had no idea about the other like Hollywood memorabilia trading cards.
That was honestly a lot of the stuff they showed at this the last one of these things was it was movies, mostly Marvel and stuff, and that was like their big license. And one thing I found quite interesting is that like their chase card used to be like it would have a film cell in it, from the original
from the
cut,
Yeah.
that mostly doesn't exist now because they're filmed digitally. So they fake it. They're like, we make film cells, and like people still want to collect them, which kind of blows my mind. It's like that's like saying, oh, I've got a real hair from a Elvis wig. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see the appeal.
Well, there was a YouTube video I was watching. Someone was opening a pack of Steven Universe trading cards, and everything is just like pictures of characters or scenes from the show. But apparently, there was a chance you would get an original drawing from one of the animators on one of the cards.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing they have. Is like their chase cards are like signatures, and then with the baseball ones, they do like a little slither of wood from the bat,
piece of a jersey,
or a little bit of fabric from the jersey, which blows my mind. But hey, I'll never yuck someone's yay, right? Whatever, it's not my thing, but whatever you're into, fill your boots.
Sports trading cards are really big on Whatnot as well. I don't know if you guys pay much attention to Whatnot, but I know sports trading cards are really big on Whatnot.
Okay.
So
all right, so I wasn't trying to yuck on anyone's yay there. Okay, it was just more of a I know no one.
Yeah, no, I honestly get it. I honestly get it. I don't really know anyone, but again, like you never realize some of the bubbles that exist, right? Until you randomly fall into them somehow,
like
and
go ahead, Cable.
There's speed puzzling, like Evansburger's puzzles are used.
All right, that doesn't exist.
There's solos.
Okay. Do you think competitive running exists? Because there's no interaction in running. You're not allowed to push the other runners.
Oh, there's a lot of interaction. Okay. If you stand behind someone, you have better airflow on you, so that way you're actually you have less resistance.
I should look into that though. Actually, I'm really good at puzzles. Cool. I'm really good at puzzles. I need to definitely look into that. I did a puzzle the other day. Well, I say a day. It took me 4 days to do it, but it said 3 to 5 years on the box. So
this guy.
Thank you very much. I'm here all week.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
You're here when I say you are.
Get him out of the call.
No, I do remember my dad hand built himself a little tray for making puzzles, and then like you could close the tray and then get it off the table, so you weren't just
and it would stay together.
So it's like basically like a briefcase with cushioning inside it to keep all the pieces together. And he made that for my mom because they like to do puzzles.
They're into it. We sell a bit of puzzles. We sell it's like a roll-up mat now, like a neoprene mat, and you lay that out and put the puzzle on, and it will roll it up and then it will roll it back out again and actually keep it, which is neat.
That's
But
cool.
yeah, again, not my thing, but like people love them.
Yeah,
People love a good
puzzles?
puzzle. Yeah.
I enjoy puzzles, but if I ever sat down to do a puzzle, the reason I'm most likely sitting down to do it is to relax and not go. "Ah!" But I
Yeah,
mean,
if
I
you
think I think
really-
that shows you anybody
Sorry.
can take anything
Yeah.
and go for it. Yeah, no, go ahead, Cable. Sorry.
Yeah, if you really wanted to actually look into the competitive puzzle, look up Karen Puzzles, and she has
Karen Puzzles.
yeah,
Of course,
she
it's-
has
Of course, her name's Karen.
that's just an unfortunate thing for her.
Yeah. Okay.
But she has like easily 3 to 5 good videos about like her experience in the speed puzzling.
3 to 5.
Thank you, John.
No, like just good ones. She makes tons of videos, but I've watched a decent
And is it?
amount of them.
It's pure. It's speed, right?
It's
like it's
straight speed. Yeah, it's like
just
doing
finishing them
500
quick.
piece puzzles in like 30 minutes or
It's
something.
like
Like
people
that.
do video game speed runs, and it's like
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And you look at the speedrunners, and there's different categories for whether or not you exploit glitches. Like, do you clip here and fall through the world? Are you allowed to do that, or do you have to do it the long way around?
Now, if you're telling me that speed puzzlers can use glitches and like put 2 corner pieces together and suddenly the other half just like fixes itself, now I'd watch that.
There
Okay, so
are
no, one of
rules
the-
like if you're missing a piece, you have to wait like it's either 10 seconds or 30 seconds, and if you can't find it anywhere, then you're done. Like if you're missing one piece,
Oh wow.
seconds 30 your time. If no one can find it around you, that means the box missed it or it somehow actually landed across the room, and you
Oh,
have to
wow.
wait that 30 seconds or whatever it is, and that can go from your like second place to being in 5th or something like that.
Wow.
So one of the video game speed runs that it just boggles my mind. So who here is familiar with the Myst series, like those puzzle games for PC?
Yes. Yes.
So the first Myst they have redone and remastered, so it's like in real time you can do it in VR. But the second Myst game, Riven, it's basically a PowerPoint slide where you click through to go to the next picture, and depending where you click, you go to different places. So the speed runs for Riven are just how quickly can you click through the PowerPoint, but you need to get your mouse in exactly the right place. So it's just memorizing where your mouse goes and you just okay, there's a cutscene, move with the cutscene, like just as fast as possible, and just watching it. I was watching a YouTube video of someone doing it at like the speed run convention, and it was just like within like 10 minutes or something, they like double click through like the entire game, and it's just wild.
Nice. So I like Turtle Dude's comment. It's officially confirmed now. Puzzles are more competitive than Marvel Villainous. And then Jim had to chime in slash all of Villainous.
I sat across somebody doing a puzzle, but they get to just mess you up like on your turn.
You activate
throw
the
some
trap
fake
card.
pieces at you.
Yeah.
It's a board wipe. They just throw everything on the floor.
Just put it in hands. But just get rid of one piece. That would be enough, right? Like one of my like it doesn't happen so much here. I realized somebody asked me a question a while ago. Johnson, did you go to UK Games Expo? I didn't. As like you can tell from my voice, I am from the UK, but I live in Canada now. So UK Games Expo is a hell of a trip for me. So no, I didn't go to that. But one of my favorite things to do when I was in the UK, public transport is a much bigger deal over there than it is over here. So we get the train everywhere a lot. And one of my favorite things to do if you were sat opposite somebody on the train and they were like reading a book and they used the bathroom, just move their bookmark a bit.
Oh,
That's me.
John.
Oh yeah, have we met? It was one of my favorite things to do.
That's what I call
okay. So
player
here's an
interaction.
idea for
That player
competitive puzzle making. Is
Competitive
for
reading.
Competitive puzzle completion. Instead of each player gets their own puzzle, there's one puzzle, and whoever gets the most pieces together
Gets more of it.
Yeah.
We've just invented a genre. Let's go.
That sounds actually sick. I feel a lot.
I do want to add on to the competitive puzzle stuff is they
Uh-oh.
actually use unreleased Ravensburger puzzles for these competitions so that no one can study every single puzzle piece. And
Wow.
during the pandemic,
This is insane.
they slowed down on new puzzles. So one of the competitive either whole events or just some of the events there, they had to use custom puzzles that weren't released because official Ravensburger ones, they just didn't make too many during the pandemic.
Oh yeah, so Ravensburger has a thing where you can send them a picture and they'll make a puzzle out of it for you.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's Ravensburger. My dad got my mom a Christmas present of here's a picture they took in Australia, and it's just a whole bunch of trees. So it's just all green. And apparently they started putting it together. It's like everything is green. We don't know anything. So they're trying to pawn off this custom puzzle onto other family members.
The largest puzzle that I've done is a 4-piece puzzle. I've done it in 2 seconds.
My man.
Ooh.
Nice.
Boom.
Talk about speed.
It's half a second a piece.
That's fast.
Blazing fast.
He is speed. Ka-chow.
All right.
So what do we think next is for like reveals and stuff? Do we think we'll get the full starter decks before Gen Con?
I'm hopeful. I don't know.
John T says, trying to bring the conversation back to why we're here.
I was literally just gonna ask something similar to that as well.
I think we won't get the deck list until maybe like a couple weeks before release, but I think we'll have seen all the cards by then.
Yeah, because I feel like if they're running a competition, no matter how sort of like light and breezy they want to like play it as, it's a competition, and people should have a bit of an idea of what they're getting themselves in for, right?
A competition that. So, is anyone here gonna playing in that tournament? Do you guys have tickets?
Yeah,
John T, you do.
Yeah,
Abel,
I think
do?
Trey has
Best
as
of
well.
luck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. I don't need it. I'm a professional speed puzzler.
He's a professional competitive Lorcana player.
I can transfer that knowledge over.
But I do wish they would like announce these sorts of things, like the Villainous tournament. If I had known they were going to do a Villainous tournament at Gen Con, I might have tried to actually go to Gen Con. But they revealed it like after all the tickets were sold out. It's like, okay.
I don't think Gen Con is sold out.
Gen Con's not sold out.
Yeah, Gen Con never sells out.
All right. Well.
Yeah. Tickets
Hotels
for events
do.
at Gen Con and hotels and
sell
stuff
out.
do. Yeah, but you can go and buy a ticket for Gen Con right now. Yeah, it's the events themselves.
The events
sell out,
right.
which was crazy.
Yeah, I think the moment they announced that event, I think tickets were gone for that event, like that. From if I remember correctly,
The Lorcana ones?
no, I'm talking about the Villainous one.
For the Villainous one.
Yeah,
Well, they
Villainous
only
tournament.
had 6 tickets. So.
So there should be one left because one of the 6 players didn't get one.
No, there was. They're deciding randomly who gets in. They had a lottery for it. So I know a couple people who got in. I know a couple people who tried to get in and didn't get the lottery.
And then I assume that the character they get is random as well.
No, so they announced how they're going to do it. Is they have for each round they have predetermined character pairings that you're going to play with, which I think makes a lot of sense because otherwise you would need a full set of every villain for every person in the tournament.
Oh no, but it's what I mean is that who you get is random though.
Oh well, it'll be random to you, but they're determining it beforehand.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like you as a player can't walk in with your
right.
your Cruella de Vil. Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, Cruella de Vil is considered a little weaker in the competitive meta.
Not when I play.
She's garbage.
I'm just saying.
No, actually, no. I enjoy playing as her, but she is a little slower. So yeah.
Lady Tremaine all day.
Sure,
Lady
Dan.
Tremaine is pretty good.
I think the first time I played Lady Tremaine, I had a lot of fun and thought it was pretty cool. So
I just being like, oh, you fake me? No.
I didn't get in originally for the Lorcana tickets the first time around, but then they That was a mess, eh? Like we didn't
That
talk about
Yeah,
it.
that was a
we didn't do a
complete and
show.
utter mess.
They
But then they
probably
refunded
should not have
people.
allowed you to sign up for more than one event in the first place.
So the problem is that you're right, and that is how it should have been done. Is that you get one, but that's not how Gen Con's system works. So it's not necessarily Lorcana's fault. The whole thing with Gen Con, and I think a lot of people were finding this out for the first time because they're new to Gen Con because of Lorcana, and this all kind of blew their minds a little bit. But this is how it works. You make your wish list, you put as many things as you can into your car, and you have to be there at 12 o'clock, and you click the button, and you hope to God that your ping isn't terrible, and it comes back that you're 6,000 in the queue, and then you wait for 3 hours. Like, people were blowing it, and they were cursing Ravensburger, and they were cursing Lorcana. I'm like, this is how Gen Con works.
Yeah.
This is how this goes. You put as many things in as you can. The wheels turn, and it spews out a list for you of things you can go to. It's just how it is. And then you spend the next week refreshing the page and trying to fill in. So I didn't get into anything
why I didn't
originally.
even try. I didn't even
I didn't
try
get into it
because I'm like,
originally.
I'm not even gonna.
Luckily, you can make a friends list on there with the people you're going with, and everyone can buy tickets for everyone within that friends list. And one of the guys I'm going with, a guy called Mike, he's a big miniature gamer, big tabletop miniature gamer, and he's also a truck driver. And he happened to refresh the page at 3:30 a.m. in a truck stop. And there was a ticket available for the tournament. And he was like, "Oh, I'm sure John said he wanted to do that," and bought it.
Wow,
and that's the only reason I've got one. That's crazy, eh?
That's nice.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So do we think we're gonna see the entirety of the set before Gen Con? Do we think we're gonna?
I think so. It would be like 1 week before or something. Like
we kind of
crazy.
have to, right? Because even if the only product they have there is the starter decks, if they are the commercial release of the starter decks, they come with a pack.
Mm-hmm.
So if they aren't revealing them, they're getting blurry ass photos on Twitter moments afterwards, right? So again, it's this idea
controlling the narrative.
Do they control the narrative or not? Right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So like with Magic the Gathering, they do the full spoiler of the set. I think it's about 2 weeks out from release, and then like pre-release gets a week ahead of that. But
hashtag it's always spoiler season.
Yeah, never.
Yeah, because there's so many sets.
Yeah.
So many sets. Well, we're somehow we are not in a spoiler season for Magic right now. But give it a couple weeks and it'll be Commander Masters spoilers.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, that's because Lord of the Rings literally
I'll say within a week.
Yeah,
within a week.
Within a week.
Yeah. It's I would love to see them go. I love what Magic does with spoiler season, other than there being too many, but that's a problem with their release cycle as opposed to the spoiler season itself. But I love the fact that they dish cards out to content creators. They spread them around. They give them to people in different languages. They give them to small creators, to big creators, to blogs, to YouTubers, to Twitter posters. Right. I love that, and I would really love to see Lorcana do something like that. It perhaps may be trickier with the mouse watching over them. But
I will say, Ravensburger, if you're here, if you're listening, I hope I haven't pissed you off too much with my opinions about some of your products, but I still love you. Loving Lorcana, would love to do a card reveal.
I don't want one.
Oh no, you don't.
He's a new content creator, and he just got blacklisted.
In all honesty, though, I feel like it would make it a lot more feasible and manageable for these companies like Ravensburger, Wizards, and all these other TCG makers to give out spoilers, because then you're lessening the load on basically your marketing department.
Oh yeah, you're getting,
you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
And I will say that I'm always shocked that there aren't any leaks. I mean, there's a lot of leaks in Magic, but it's never from that. It's never from dishing out single spoilers to content creators. But I then thought about it for a second, and I guess it's because it's very accountable as to who it is, right? They know who they've given each card to, so whichever card gets leaked, that person then becomes blacklisted. So it's probably just not worth it, right? But I imagine, like I say, I assume that Disney has a relatively tight leash on this sort of stuff, so it would be interesting to see something like that. But even if we don't see them sort of dished out, just having a season, a time period where here is your reveals for the next set, I still think is a good idea than having them. Weirdly, saying this as a content creator who would like to be able to make a new video every week about stuff, I actually kind of prefer the idea that this sort of stuff is limited to a week, a month out of release or something like that, rather than having it come in little dribs and drabs.
Yeah, right. Because at least that way, you know, I can plan accordingly. You know, saying, all right, so I need to block out, you know, X many days. There's going to be X many on day 1, Y many on day 2, type of thing, and then kind of prepare content, you know, from that standpoint. Excuse me. So. Like the one thing that I like that Wizards does is when they approach a spoiler season, they're like, all right, here we're getting ready for spoiler season. Here's a schedule and here's where what channels you can go to see see their spoiled cards. Like they've got it like all pretty well spelled out, which is a good thing. I think for the entirety of the community.
Blizzard does that with Hearthstone as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoy Mark's blog post just before it as well, where he's like, here's a list of things that cards say, you know, and that's always really good fun as well. Like one card says 1313 on it.
Yes.
Like it's nothing really, you know. It's a good way to start the train leaving the station kind of thing.
I will be interested to see how this game, you know, for future releases, even the remainder of this release, but even future releases, kind of how they choose to do, you know, their marketing and content, especially when it comes to card releases. I'll be interested because not the biggest fan of how it's going now, but I mean, you know, they're learning a lot, you know, as they continue to go. So, you know,
as much as there's a big community behind things like Villainous, like I can't imagine there is the same kind of fervor about new releases for a game like that, right? I don't like. Do they spoil cards for Villainous?
So there is
not really that I'm aware of.
It's a smaller community, so you definitely don't have as much hype around it in that sense. But the people who are interested do get real excited. Like there are people on the server who are looking for any possible leak or spoiler. There's people who will look for Ravensburger doing trademarks, like they trademarked this particular phrase. Is that going to be the name of the next set? And they're just hunting.
But I know they don't do card. They don't do. That's what I'm saying. They announce a villain. They say, we're doing what did you say was the next one that was coming?
Oogie Boogie.
Oogie Boogie's
coming out in October.
Okay, so between them saying, hey, Oogie Boogie's coming, and there maybe being a piece of key art or something, and the release,
nothing.
Is there anything in between?
There's been a little bit. So with the most recent sets, Ravensburger has started doing Twitch streams where they show off the character beforehand. And then one of the playtesters, Lord of the Board, who is a playtester because he lives right next to their office in Washington, but he does character videos. Okay, this is this villain, this is their objective, here's the cards in their deck, here's a little bit of strategy to talk about. And at first he was doing that for cards for villains that had been revealed already, but once he started playtesting, he has all the materials there, so he is now like the preview. So hey, this set is coming out, here's the villain, here's all the cards. So it's condensed into one person at this point, and
there'll be an hour-long stream or something, you know, some point before release. So, and John says there's people waiting in the D23 on just to buy Villainous. I reiterate, I'm not saying that there isn't a community that is excited for new Villainous releases.
How dare you, Jonty? How dare you?
There's a huge competitive scene. What I was saying was, is that have Ravensburger had experience with this trickling of content to build a hype
So
train.
I will say that, and again, this is continuing to put me in their bad books, but they have not had necessarily the best record with that. There's
Ravensburger. We are not affiliated.
Yeah, again,
because with Disney Villainous especially, they are very secretive, and maybe this is Disney telling them to be secretive. I don't know. I am not the Ravensburger community manager, but they will announce a new Disney set maybe a month before it actually releases, even though we're kind of expecting at this point we're going to get a set at like certain points of the year, but they'd say nothing. Although there have been a lot of leaks where it gets spoiled early, and so it kind of forces their hand. Like Walmart accidentally puts up a product page. It's like, oh, there's a new Villainous. It's like, no, don't talk about it yet. But they want to put it out like a month beforehand, and then it's just the box. Here's the 3 characters in it. That's it. And then you get to like a week away, and here's the back of the box. And then like a couple days before release, here's what's in the box. So not a lot of hype.
But that seems relatively normal for a board game, though. Like, because I can't, like I say, I'm not crazy into Villainous myself, but I sell board games for a living, and I can't think of any that have the same kind of build up to launch that a TCG has.
TCG does, right.
Not only that a TCG has, that it has 4 times a year.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
like this constant cycle. So it must be such a like they're gonna have done their research or whatever, and they're bringing new people in and stuff. But like, it must be such a shift to what they're used to.
Right,
board games to a lesser extent. They certainly aren't showing pieces of puzzles. Before the
here's the top left corner. Of the
like that's certainly not happening, right? So like, this is new ground for them, and they're learning on the job, and they're not doing an awful job. I would just like to see something a little bit more organized, a little bit more sort of regular, plannable. I guess, I don't know. Like, you look at something like Star Wars Unlimited. That game's still a way off. We're getting some reveals for it. They've already given.
Can you tell? Like, can you tell that it's further off than Lorcana is?
No,
if that's the thing. If I would go to Twitter and went to Star Wars Unlimited, if I didn't know any better, I would think Star Wars Unlimited was closer to release than Disney Lorcana.
The only difference is it has much less engagement. If you look purely at the numbers,
true.
But they're having content creators reveal cards already.
Yeah.
They had Ross from
Oh, really?
Revealed 2 cards. Yeah, because he's must be a big Star Wars guy, I guess. He's covered some Lorcana stuff, which is the only reason I know of him, honestly. But I think he's a Pokemon guy.
He's a Pokemon guy. He's also done a bit of Marvel Champions content in the past. That's how I first got onto his content, was through Marvel Champions.
But he revealed 2 cards on a video of his yesterday or the day before, maybe.
I didn't see that.
Like, they're already engaging there at a level that
their content creator community.
It's just I don't want to sound like the bitter content creator here.
Yeah, right. No,
like,
right.
This is just how it's done now, right?
Yeah.
Like, Lorcana's new, and my Lorcana channel is new, and it's small, but I've been around the block with this. My main channel on YouTube has over 100,000 subscribers. It's a video game channel. Like, I know this. I know how this works now, right?
Yep.
You reach out to these people, you offer them something, to share, and they are eternally grateful and just eat it up and basically become your marketing department for free. Like, this is just how this stuff works, and I just feel it's a shame that Ravensburger haven't, at least for now,
and
realize that, and
we talked about it before. I wonder how much of this is Disney saying no.
But hopefully too, that with the new community manager Rachel, she used to be the assistant community manager, I believe, for Final Fantasy card game. So she actually knows.
FFTCG, Final Fantasy trading card game.
Yes.
Fantasy Flight trading card game.
I didn't even know there was a Final Fantasy trading card game.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I'm learning so many things on this roundtable.
She knows the TCG side compared to Ravensburger as a whole. Actually, doesn't know the TCG side, other than like Steve Warner and Ryan Miller. They know TCG, but
right.
spoiling stuff side.
Yeah, and the Final Fantasy TCG did a really good job from the community standpoint. You know, in the past with new sets. The Final Fantasy TCGs is a lot of fun. We did a how to play video on that. I like that game. I think the game's a lot of fun. It's underrated if you ask me. But yeah,
still going.
Yes, yeah, it is still going. I mean, it's you know, not the size of Magic or Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh, you know, but it's they still are pumping out the sets. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, I'm interested. I'm very interested to see. I mean, we are almost into July, so I think July is gonna be the month where I'm hoping we just the floodgates are opened and we get the all right, guys. This is what we've been working towards. Here's kind of our new setup, our new system, and you know we're excited to share it with you all. And
it has to be, doesn't it? It has to be.
I did the maths a couple days ago. You could do 20 cards a week until Gen Con, and you'll have the full set. Not necessarily they'll do that, but they could definitely do like 5 cards next week, 10 cards next week, 15 cards until they get to like 40 cards for the last week or something like that.
I will tell you, one of the things that I'm really hoping, and again, I'm approaching this very much differently now from the content creator side. But I mean, a few years ago, I remember being excited for spoiler season for Magic because there were a couple of creators that I would watch for like an entire week or week and a half of it's spoiler season, and then we are getting a lot of reveals every day. And as soon as I get home, all right, I'm popping on their video and you know watching their stuff tonight. What do we get today? What's the news?
I can honestly say that I watch a week of Saffron Olive.
Oh, okay.
And then see you in a few months.
Yeah.
That can't be his real
probably
voice.
Better known as Saffron Olive.
It's 100% his real voice.
You didn't put anywhere near enough intonation.
You're telling me that there's a person who talks like this in real life, and that's his real voice.
Like I can't watch his videos.
Probably better known.
As Saffron Olive.
But I will watch a week of creators to see the set, and then like that's it.
Yeah. So Seth was one, and then oh goodness, SBMTG. There we go. That was my other one. But no. So real talk. I had emailed Seth to be on our podcast a couple months ago, and he got back and said, "Yeah, let's do it." I haven't been able to get in touch with him again. So I'm like, we were so excited, and then it just.
So we got to start our drama channel until he responds.
We're calling him
Seth, probably better known as Super Flaky.
Again, he seems like he really knows his stuff, but like I can't listen to his voice. I can't.
And a lot of like you get a lot of people who just don't like I really I consume content in video form very well. Like that is the way I prefer to get stuff pushed into my head.
You're in visual. You're a visual guy.
Yeah. So, but a lot of people don't, and like, sure, okay, cool. There's blog posts and stuff, and like websites, and you know. But like, that's what I want. I want to sit down and have a 20-minute video. Here's everything that came out today. Cool.
Yes.
I'll be making
for
it
like
for Lorcana,
TCG card reveals, but. One of my biggest pet peeves is when I click on a link for a news article and it starts playing a video. It's like, I do not care. I can read this article faster than you can say it. Please just type this out.
Yeah, it depends what it
please.
is.
So my fix there is I don't listen or read to news.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah.
I don't. I haven't. I couldn't tell you the last time I saw news.
Try to be informed.
I mean, you can be informed by watching and listening too. You know,
but news isn't news for the most part isn't information. It's gossip.
True.
That's a good time.
True. Next H&H video title. Here we go. Turtle Dude. The dark truth about Saffron. This changes everything you know about Saffron Olive.
Saffron Olive does not want you to know this one trick.
Oh, goodness. So, all right. So let's see. What's today? June 23rd. All right. So,
well, technically it's the 24th for me now. It's past midnight.
It is the 24th for me as well, actually. Yeah.
All right, you guys are wrong.
So after July 4th, okay. So is spoiler season going to start for Lorcana? What do you guys think?
Why July 4th?
I just
it's almost like there's a day for this country that I'm living in right now that is kind of important.
Yes, you're right. I mean, yeah, sorry. I understand now. I was thinking it was a Lorcana date for something that I missed. Yeah, no. It's just Traitor Day. I remember now. Yeah.
True.
I remember somebody asked me once when England celebrated their Independence Day, and I'm like, no, you don't understand. Countries that celebrate an Independence Day,
okay, here's the thing.
Usually are celebrating that they're not England anymore.
Nothing has made me more proud to be an American than watching Charles become king.
You're right.
Oh, okay. Why?
Just the whole thing of like everything surrounding it, and you're not allowed to protest him, and he's just does not look like the nicest of people, and just the whole idea of monarchy in general does not sit well for me.
John,
go. Very much pro-democracy.
I'm certainly no royalist, but I'm not an abolitionist either. Really, I sit somewhere in the middle. Do you know Stonehenge?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think of the royal family much like I think of Stonehenge. If it was bulldozed tomorrow, I wouldn't really care. But while it's there, we might as well cut the grass and take money from Japanese tourists.
and me, I was there in April.
See, but Stonehenge isn't a person. It's not a person.
No, but what I'm saying is
privilege.
My point is that I have no love for the royal family, but they generate an incredible amount of revenue for the UK. So I don't really care unless they do something really out of place. They're basically part of the furniture. They have very little actual power, and
they're werewolves.
And
they have
lizards.
Power in as much that they're really rich, and rich people can exert.
Yeah, but that's a problem with rich people and not necessarily royalty. But yeah, like they're
pretty much just celebrities at this point.
They're just for show, really, you know. Like, and the UK makes an obscene amount of money from them, so like it doesn't really bother me. Pretty much all of the they're the second largest landowners in the country, but all of the revenue from the land goes straight to the state, which is much more than we pay them. So you know, UK is a really good deal. Now, if I was Canadian, I would have a much bigger problem with them because they get very little return from them, yet still have to put in just the same amount as the UK does. So, yeah.
All right. On that note,
this has been the show of side tangents.
Yeah. Well,
Always
guys,
has been.
Well, we did more so than normal. We didn't even talk about all of the cards that revealed since last time.
Yes, correct.
Let's talk about Beast Wolfsbane. What do you think about Beast Wolfsbane?
Is it inkable?
No,
bad card.
That's trash.
Let's find
if it's
it
more
here.
than 5 or 6 mana, not inkable, it's probably not a great card.
So here you go. Beast, 5 cost.
Although this card's really good.
4/4 with
Rafiki is really good.
All right. So what do we think of Beast Wolfsbane, guys?
Great
What do we
card.
think?
It's
I
a
think it's
good
good.
card.
Yeah, I do
when
like
it gets the second part of the card, which should in theory be paired up with the Tinkerbell card that was like leaked from the booklet that you get with the trove. I think it might be amazing.
Oh, dude, I totally
but
forgot about that.
Did we actually see?
We haven't
that
seen
somewhere
it.
Then?
We haven't.
We've seen a
seen
real
it.
blurry picture that's really small,
that's
and we
it,
can't
yeah.
see what it says.
But in
And
the
we
will say
booklet,
that-
what we reckon it says it deals 1 damage to everything then or something, I guess.
something
Possibly.
like that. In the booklet as
Yeah.
a whole, that page was saying like how you get around ward and you're doing
Right.
overall something targeting instead of like one specific target.
Right.
And
it was
they were
and
saying, like,
these were the 2 cards, right? And
Yeah.
so they kind of combo together, yeah.
yeah,
I will
so
say-
yeah, that's
this is
right,
like a
that's right.
half card,
And
but it's still good being a half card.
and Tinkerbell is steel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do know
that-
it's
I believe
that
it
other
was-
one was steel. Yeah.
So,
I believe
so
it
there
was
we go then.
Floodborn Steel.
So the amber steel, the emerald steel, like that's what we were saying before about those sort of uncommon signposts, right? That's because the steel already has some single target damage, right? You know, like which will go well with this.
Right.
But even
I
better
will
if
say
something
I've
just
done
pings
some
everything.
play testing with Beast Wolfsbane on Pixelborn, and I played it not quite a few, but maybe 10 games so far. I've gotten the second ability to proc once on one character. It was a broom that had taken 1 damage and wasn't questing. So I don't know how much that second ability is actually going to go off.
Well, again, I think much like Ladies Terrain, it gets better every time we see a card that pings stuff for damage, right? Which I still think we haven't seen. You remember the stuff they're showing. I still think I reckon half the cards we haven't seen yet are like actions and songs and stuff because they're just not as spicy to reveal, right? Like people.
I
Want
don't
to see
know. I'm looking
characters.
forward to what songs are in Steel. What is a Steel song?
Good question.
What's that weird thing they sing at the start of Frozen about the ice?
About what?
I like that.
About the ice.
Oh,
The
dude,
ice-
that's actually a
the
good one.
ice
Yeah.
Good
song.
ice. Yeah, I don't know where we go.
Yeah.
That feels steely.
Yeah, yeah. There's a ton. Oh man,
It's all rugged.
in all honesty though, about the songs, I'm a big fan of those. Like I think I think it fits so very well, for with the theme. And I really like it. I think it's really cool. I think it's a cool mechanic.
The handful of games we played in the store as well, every single time a character exerted to play a song, I sang the song in the character's voice.
Good.
There you go.
And I couldn't stop myself.
Yep.
And I feel like it's going to be a thing I do forever.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a thing a bunch of people do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, so before I ask about Rafiki, okay, one of the things that I'm interested to see is how much the rarities are going to matter. Like so far, I mean, do we think that the rarity kind of dictates power level, or it's just this doesn't really mean much?
I think the one case where I've seen rarity dictate power level is Mickey Wayward Sorcerer, because he's just strictly better than Maleficent Sinister Visitor.
Yeah, so we had this discussion
of the card
in the Lorcana HQ Discord where if it's legendary, it's more like niche, like maybe not every single colored deck, this colored deck will play the card. And then in addition to that, any like super rare cards are going to be architect defining. So like Mickey Wayward Sorcerer, that's going to be like its own deck, or it's not every Amethyst deck is going to have.
It's like the sorcerer deck wants it kind of thing. Is it? Yeah. Is that sort of thing you're saying?
Lot of, obviously we don't have every element are like the staple cards for all the deck. This feels like
there was
to the rarity system.
There was a question asked about this on the last Q&A on Twitter, actually. I can read it out. Is rarity a metric to use to determine overall card power or card complexity? For example, other games put the more mechanically complex cards at higher rarities, while also using rarity as a dial to tune power, which is what you were saying there. The sorcerer is just better. And then Steve's answer was complexity or showing aspects of a card that are maybe a little more different than what they would normally be, vague for now, sorry, are factors that help determine rarity. But that said, it doesn't mean that the card necessarily has to be stronger.
Huh. That's interesting.
Like, we still have cards to see. We don't know anything. I know, Dan. But I don't think Gantu is a good card.
That was like my whole point too. When I saw Gantu, I'm like, wait a minute, because I thought the same thing, and so I'm like, wait, this is a legendary. Well, if Gantu's a legendary, here we go. Yeah, like I mean that's expensive. And I think at that point, I think at that point when we saw Gantu, I'm not sure how many 2-drops or less we saw at that point. So a much more limited card pool that we knew of at the time. But I kind of had the similar thought there, John T. So
when we first saw Gantu, we didn't know what questing was.
Yeah, we had like Gantu was like our 13th card or 12th card, something like that.
So we actually sort of looked maybe looked at it and thought, oh, he's big and like, oh, they can't challenge. That seems good. Like if Gantu said characters with cost 2 or less can't quest,
that would be insane.
Then it would be possibly one of the best cards in the current pool, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting that he is a legendary and perhaps like Mickey Brave Little Tailor is pretty good, but like
he's very good. 4 lore is insane. Gantu is just
getting there.
Yeah,
getting there is like 8 cost is tricky, especially in red where we've seen no ramp yet, right? So he has to be paired with a color that we've got ramp in. So, but like neither of those are like, oh yeah, that's clearly awesome, right? You know, Gantu less so personally, but yeah,
right.
I absolutely run Mickey BLT in my Sapphire Ruby ramp deck because like he's one of the things I'm trying to ramp into. Because like you get 4 lore out, he's evasive. That is fantastic. Gantu is a win more card. If you're already ahead, Gantu just says, I stay ahead. You can't use your little things to get rid of my stuff. But you need to get to 8 ink and also be ahead. And then you're spending your entire turn playing just a 2 lore card. He's a big 2 lore card. He's a 6/6, but he's still only 2 lore for 8.
And also it relies on the opponent playing.
You don't get immediate effect.
And your opponent might not have 2-cost characters in, right? It might not be a deck that runs smaller stuff. It might, like you say, be a deck that ramps into bigger things. So
the decks that run all the little things, they're going to be aggro questing decks. So
they quest,
exactly. You anyway.
All the 1-drop Maleficents and stuff. They just the Cheshire Cats. They want to just turn sideways to quest, right?
Right.
So yeah.
Steggy, I very much agree. Simba's a lot better right now.
Yeah, I was just gonna throw that one up. I would agree. I think Simba, if I recall correctly, isn't Simba 5? Okay, Simba's a 7. So 7, 4, 6, 2. Yeah, Challenger +4. Yeah.
And he can kill evasives.
Can get those evasive. Yeah.
Pick off evasive stuff. Yeah. You say that Steggy there says that Gantu is we need to see more cards character. I don't know what cards we could see though. Like we know how the game plays.
At least at the time. I think at least at the time of its initial release, of when we saw the card. Because I think you look at Gantu now in a much different light than we looked at Gantu back then. You know what I mean? So like now maybe not so much, but I think when it was initially released, we definitely had I need to see something more to determine if this is good, bad, indifferent,
Well, everyone was doing videos saying, "Oh, we've got Floodgate in Lorcana and all this," like.
Mhm.
Because at the time we
no,
thought that was good.
I do have a question,
Jim
John,
Hawkins. Yes, Mickey. Right
Okay,
now
I
is the
will
only
point
4
out
lore
that
card.
Hades, King of Olympus, can get to 4 lore.
Mm-hmm.
Mickey is the only printed 4 lore card that's
unless
on the
card
front shelf.
states otherwise.
Yes.
Now,
Yes,
I do have a
which was
question
the
for John
question.
T with Gantu. I know, Dan, you don't like speculation, so you can do the la la la, don't listen. If there's a,
it's
if
not that I don't like it. Not that I don't
No,
like it. It's just I don't like
yeah.
to do it myself personally.
Yeah. So if
like
there
listening to
was
people
like
do
a
it. It's-
5 or 6 costed action card that was like Gantu's spaceship that says play Gantu from your hand, would you like Gantu better? Or
if he was
is it-
cheaper,
yeah, obviously if it's cheaper, but
If you
that's,
have
that's,
cheated
that's,
out,
that's
I
what
mean,
you're
if you're
asking.
able to cheat it
If
out.
I could get him out earlier, would I like him more?
yeah, like a non-inkable 6 action card, get Gantu out early.
No. I think no, because even if he was, well, I don't know, like 6/6 is for 2 is just a
Question:
good
that
body.
other card, do you have to exert it, and is it a creature?
It's an action card.
So an action that
card.
says
Just kind of
get him out
like
earlier,
just kind of like just in time,
Like just
but
in
How
time.
about from
specifically
deck?
but specifically Gantu. Deck, I think that would be, I don't know.
Here's
an
what
idea.
is your
What-
question, Jim?
I was saying rather than pull it from hand, pull it from deck. I like it a lot more.
Oh,
What
So
if there
if-
was like an Emerald Stitch that was characters that cost 2 or less, opposing characters that cost 2 or less have Reckless? Then you pair that with Gantu.
That'd be good for multiplayer, I
Oh,
guess.
I don't know if you could do that.
It'd be good for
Could you do that?
multiplayer, right? They have to. That's goad, right? They have to attack, but they can't attack me.
Yeah.
Well, then if they have to attack, but they can't attack you, so they just do nothing. So they just sit there. They're just useless.
Well, unless it's multiplayer.
Yeah.
So like goad is useless in 2-player, basically.
yeah,
like
exactly.
other than
Goad is useless in
forcing
2-player.
something into combat, which can sometimes
Okay, but in
be more
2-player
beneficial for
Goad,
me,
you
but, yeah.
they still attack. Whereas if you
Yeah,
have-
that's
if
what I'm
this
saying.
is
Like, it's-
Reckless and it can't challenge, then it just sits there.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Again, it's still super niche because it's still I'm still relying on the opponent playing a certain type of deck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because
No.
that doesn't give them like haste, right? Or rush. Yeah, no, it's reckless.
Yeah, reckless. So I don't know. Like a 6/6 with 2 lore is just is a pretty good body. So at some point it gets cheap enough to be worth it. Trey, to answer your point.
Yeah.
What I don't get though is the under arrest. I don't think his ability is a very good ability. I don't think it's a
Right.
very useful ability. I
Right.
don't like anyone who's playing 2-cost characters currently. Is like you say, it's like a rush quest deck, right? Like it's quest early, quest often deck. So I don't know what it's trying to do. I don't understand what that card is trying to do, and I can't think of what other cards will come out that make that ability better.
Right.
Ready,
right.
set, draw. That wouldn't turn off Reckless. It was just you'd have a clash between, okay, this is Reckless. It has to challenge if able. And then Gantu says it's not able. So it just does nothing and it can't quest.
You could only sing at that point.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, in kind of effect, Reckless is
So yeah, that's
Turned
his
off.
point. Then Reckless
Yeah,
turned off.
point,
He's saying that
yeah.
Gantu's ability overrides the ability that whatever the other card gives, right?
right.
Because Reckless is always if able. That's
If
obviously
able,
a conscious
right.
decision they've made.
But
Right.
part of it
To-
is also
to-
can't quest. So that part would still be there.
That's the
Yeah.
important part.
Correct. Yep.
That's the
Yep.
important one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
They've been very clever to word a lot of this well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which and I will say this as well. So in the few weeks that I've sort of stepped back from Lorcana, while there hasn't been much out, I've been really into Shatterpoint, which is a miniatures game from Atomic Mass game, Star Wars miniatures game.
Yeah.
And it's made me appreciate how well worded a lot of the Lorcana cards are, because the Shatterpoint cards are worded awfully.
Yeah.
Terribly. There are abilities that for a single character, and the ability will say, if a character in this unit finishes a movement action near an allied character within 2, then the character within this unit and the character can move. Like they're genuinely worded that way, and it's so convoluted.
Yeah.
And they've clearly done it to kind of cover bases and to make sure that the same ability can work on multiple cards. But geez, they're wordy, And then so even though we have had a few moments of gray that we've needed to be, like I still think now we're not quite fully how every single possible combination of shift works, right? But like even still, compared to other games out there, Lorcana is actually relatively well written.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I noticed kind of early on. I think if we pull up, I want to pull up some of those early ones. Yeah, like even looking at Elsa, exert chosen opposing character. Like that's 4 words. Like if that was a magic card, I think that would be tap target character and opponent controls.
That's about as short as you can make that one, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So even in something as simple as this, they still were able to be short but still very concise.
And a lot of the time where we've asked for clarity on abilities, I feel like it's because we've bought in knowledge and opinions from other games and have tried to overcomplicate it a lot of the time,
right, because we come with an understanding, and it's like every time I learn a new game, right, I try to fit this new game into what I already know. And when it comes to card games, like I try to relate most of them to a game like Magic the Gathering, because that's a game that's very popular, that a lot of people know. And I try to relate everything to that for me personally, because it makes sense to me. And then once I understand it, then I can then turn it into, okay, now that I have an understanding, now I can adequately explain this to someone else who may not have the same background as me. And so I think that's how a lot of people approach a new game for themselves when they try to get that initial understanding as well.
And we can go even deeper with the card stuff. Go to Moana. I think she'd be like
Moana.
going halfway up.
So that's probably one of the few that is a
okay. So
gray.
they did a clarifying tweet about this, and I read the tweet wrong, and I was spreading wrong information in the server for a little while until someone reread the thing. It was like, oh, okay.
So the ability, if there's a period in the ability, what you choose, that second sentence always happens. So for Moana, you can choose, when you quest, you can choose to ready up all your other characters or not. But no matter if you choose yes or no, the second sentence
still happens.
Always happens.
Yeah, because it doesn't say then, right?
Yeah. No, but the point is that the they at the start of the second questions refers to princess characters, not princess characters you have exerted, that you have readied. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
because
essentially,
it's your other princess characters.
That is how that second sentence basically is. Correct. It is your other princess characters cannot quest for the remainder of the turn.
Yes.
So if you have not quested with them,
blanketed statement. So if for whatever reason, I don't think they will have this, at least the first set, is if you can have like an instant quest card, if you bring in a new princess after questing with Moana, I don't think you can quest with that brand new princess that you put just down, because the they sentence is just overarching almost forever for that turn.
Yeah.
That wouldn't make sense, because that new princess that came in didn't see
a trigger.
Didn't see that Moana trigger.
But it would depend on how.
That's what makes sense to me.
Again,
from my magic,
because you are bringing the magic stack into this, which isn't in this game. There is trigger, like the trigger, like sitting somewhere and then resolving or not is not something that happens in this game. That's the only one that I think is super great, because personally, they can't quest for the rest of this turn. They, in my head, makes more sense to be the princess characters you readied. Yes.
That
makes sense. Personally, grammatically, I feel that is more correct. But they've said it isn't, so whatever. That's the rule. But that's
Right.
that is the one that I actually think is a
Would you have
little.
preferred if it were worded, when this
If you
character
did.
quests, your other princess characters can't quest for the rest of this turn, and you may ready them?
That would be
probably.
that would be more
Clearer,
like,
at least.
well, I don't know whether clearer is the right word, but like less.
If this was on a
ambiguous?
magic card,
Ambiguous.
it would read. I think this would read: whenever this character quests, you may ready your other princess characters. If you did, they cannot quest for the rest of the turn.
That's
Like,
that's not
not-
right
it would-
though.
it would
That's
be-
not
it
how
would
it
say
works.
either
Dan.
way.
I know. No,
Okay.
I know that's not how it works. I understand that.
He was saying if it was a
totally get that.
magic.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if this was a magic card, that's most likely how it would be templated.
But
Most
here's the
likely.
thing: if this was a magic card and it worked the way it actually works, the magic card would
Yes,
have to say
correct.
something
It would have
like,
to say something different. Yes.
whenever this character quests, your other princess characters can't quest for the
Correct,
rest of
yes.
this turn.
Yes.
You may ready them if you wish. You know, and that's not
Correct,
wording in magic.
And
but
I
yeah,
think
it's-
part of that, the reason why they have it separate is to nerf Moana a little bit, because she does have
Yeah.
3 lore.
Yeah.
Because if
Yeah,
you had
that would be
2 of
crazy
those
strong,
out, yeah.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. They would both be able to. She would be able. They would. One would quest.
Yeah. So if you had 2 Moana, if
The
you had
second
2
one would quest and untap the other one, right? Like that.
I think what they wanted with Moana is thinking about it from the same point of, if you had 2 Moanas on board, they only wanted you to be able to quest with one of them for the entirety of the turn. They
Yeah.
wouldn't
Mhm.
want you to quest with both of them for the entire turn, because if my understanding is correct with reading this card and how it's supposed to be interpreted, is if you have both Moanas, you would only then be able to quest with one, because once you quested with one, that turns off all questing for all of your other princess characters, so then you wouldn't be able to quest with your other Moana for the remainder of the turn. Is that correct?
Yeah, because imagine if
Yeah.
you could do it, you could quest with both Moanas, then you could ready your other princesses like twice, and you could get in 2 challenges.
Right. So I think that the ability, my assumption would be this, the way it was worded was really looking at if you had 2 Moanas on board and really trying to, kind of nerf it, I guess.
Yeah.
Whereas
For lack of
actually
a better
now,
term.
what this card now does is quest with this last, your other stuff readies.
Yeah.
Basically, is what this
Right,
is
yeah.
what this says now, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
a few people talking about gaining lore instantly on cards. I'd be amazed if we see that. Like,
Yeah, I don't.
like
That would be like
you've
year
got-
10.
They have to allow you to respond, right? Because otherwise, you just win. Like
I
just
don't
win
think
early.
we'll see characters that can quest immediately. I do think we will see actions that just gain you lore.
I
Yeah.
can see that.
Yeah. Just like I think we'll see actions that take lore away, I would assume.
Because an action that takes lore away from an opponent is basically equivalent to life gain in Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, very true. So, all right. Rafiki. What do we think about Rafiki, y'all?
He's good. He's great.
All right.
Run him
All right,
in
that's
Amethyst.
it for Rafiki.
It's the smash of Amethyst, but can be better, can be not at the same time, depending on the situation.
What do you mean smash?
So smash is
is
the
the
steal
free-
action.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
it's-
talking about the card smash.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay.
So like if your opponent only has readied cards, smash is better. But if your opponent has a bunch of 2 attack or 2 strength characters, then your Rafiki can technically do 2-for-1 trades.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
it's
Rafiki
a
is
very situational if it's better or worse than smash. But
If I
I do
remember-
like Rafiki.
If I remember correctly, Smash is Smash inkable? I can't remember.
Yes.
Yes.
Smash is
It is
inkable.
okay. Smash is inkable. Okay. All right.
Because it
Alright.
costs 3, I think. Because Fire the Cannons is 1 for 2 damage. I think a 2 ink for 3 damage would have to not be inkable.
I'm sorry. Say that again. I lost you there. I'm sorry.
So Fire the Cannons is 1 ink for 2 damage. If we had a card that was 2 ink, deal 3 damage, that would not be inkable. The fact that Smash is inkable, I think, necessitates an increase in cost.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I remember talking about that as well. All right, what do you guys think about
He's great. Can I just say with Rafiki,
Yes.
Genuinely, I've said this a few times, genuinely new favorite art. I think that's
Yes.
incredible.
Oh yeah, great art.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I do like the artwork for Rafiki.
I also love like the Wolfsbane artwork. Like I love the little crackling green stuff coming off of his cloak.
Yeah,
I'm not for me. Beast Wolfsbane is just not my thing, not my style. But I know there's a lot of people who like it. Just
I dig it. I really love all the ones that have the symbol somewhere in the art. Like that's really neat. You can really tell they've cared about it and they've been given a really great brief. And it's not, hey, you know when the beast beats the wolves up, can you draw that? You know what I mean? Like you can really see a lot of care in trying to build this sort of world.
Right.
I don't. The more cards I see, the more I don't understand what makes them Dreamborn.
So
that's the one thing. That's the one thing I'm very interested to learn more about is Dreamborn.
So what I can tell is that Storyborn means this is straight out of the movie. This is straight out of the movie. So Iago and Genie are Storyborn. They're right out of the movie. Whereas Archimedes here is Dreamborn because that's not what he looks like in the movie. That is not what Rafiki looks like in the movie. So they're Dreamborn. Floodborn means they can shift.
So so that's how I understood it as well.
Yeah, that's how I understood it too. But how?
But like, is the Goofy Goofy Musketeer
that's
Dream?
The one I don't understand.
Yes, yes. This is.
No, sorry, I know he is. I'm saying like, is that a million miles away? What he looks like in the Three Musketeers movie?
He looks very similar to that.
So if you go, I know Mickey Wayward Sorcerer is Dreamborn. I don't remember if the Magic Brooms are Dreamborn. But I think it's because with Goofy and Donald and Mickey, they're going off of the Mickey and Friends as the thing. So the Storyborn Mickey is Mickey Mouse as he appears in the cartoons. Whereas the Three Musketeers
or whatever it's called
is basically fan fiction or whatever. I don't know. Like so,
but there's an actual, but there's a movie though.
There is a movie, but it is not the Mickey and Friends iteration of Mickey and Friends. It is a different iteration, so it's Dreamborn. That's my understanding of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it.
There's a ton of those though.
It's that's what I mean. Yeah. It's just super great. And like for instance, that Beast Wolfsbane, like it's Dreamborn, but other than that little bit of green, that's pretty much what it looks like in the movie, you know? Like it's like I wonder if is the Dreamborn bit decided first, and is it something to do with the game balance, or is it just the art comes back and they go, oh, that's a little bit different, so we'll call it Dreamborn?
I am waiting for the cards that care whether.
That's what I mean. The reason is there a reason for these things? Yeah, is there a reason for Dreamborn and Floodborn and Storyborn?
My assumption is that's more so going to be a lore thing, you know. And this is the one thing where I'm like, I'm approaching it from a lore standpoint and the story standpoint of like, what's the whole point of this from a story standpoint? But yeah, to your guys' point as well, what's going to be the gameplay? How does this matter from a gameplay perspective as well? So, all right, Iago, what do you guys think about Iago?
He's good.
Yeah. I think making their combo piece like have to challenge
attack,
or at least make them have to do something with it other than what they want to do with it is pretty strong. I feel that's pretty good.
Good way to get rid of Pascal's or Biding Her Times.
Yeah, because it's a good way to get around evasive stuff, you know.
I gotta get going, guys.
All right, Jim. Well,
yeah,
we'll
it's almost 1 a.m. here for me. I should probably also head out and get some modicum of sleep.
All right.
But
well,
thanks for having me on. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely, Wero.
It's great meeting you, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll take care. Take care, sir. We'll see you later. All right.
See you guys.
Ta-ta.
All right, Jimbo. We'll see you later, dude. All right.
All right, see ya.
Bye,
Was fun,
Jim.
John
See ya.
T. Was fun, cabled. Later.
See ya.
Bye.
All right, later. Oh, I almost shut you off. Yeah, I almost said John T off there. What? Because Jim, when Jim left, he removed.
Oh, he did
And then I
himself.
had my So anyway,
Oh,
all
He
right.
jumped in front of the bullet.
Yeah.
Oh God.
All right. Yes.
Yes, I think Iago is good. I think Reckless is good. I don't know whether a 1/4 for 3 with 1 lore is particularly very good.
right.
But I just
But
like
the fact he has Reckless.
Reckless
any-
is good, and being able to do it potentially more times
Potentially
than an
multiple
action
turns,
card
yeah,
can.
yeah.
Yeah, is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
For me,
Yeah.
anytime you can change the thought process or the planning of what your opponent was going to do,
Mm-hmm.
to me, that's
Yes.
always going to be a good
Yeah.
card.
And that's why I like Emerald so far, because
Yeah,
that
me
is
too.
really
It's
what it
making
seems
them
like they're
making them play reactively and not
Right,
and not
right.
proactively, right? Like it's
Mhm.
just good, right? Putting them on the back
Right.
feet.
Yeah.
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 Timon, I don't know. Like, I don't know whether the little bits of damage is really
Yeah. I don't know if
doing
that's
much.
gonna matter. Yeah.
It's, to me, Timon's, if you get it early, it's just straight ink no matter what.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you get
Yeah.
it late game and you have bodyguard characters, it's
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
Right. It
Yeah.
keeps the bodyguards topped up.
It's the bodyguards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. That Timon's like is exactly the card where I'm like, is this not the card I want on turn 1? Like, I'm not gonna play it. I don't want to play this on turn 1. Like, I'll play it mid.
Well, that's the good thing. It's your ink then, right?
Yes.
Like if this is
yes.
in your opening
Right.
hands, you've got 6
Right.
cards to
Yep.
play with. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
You
Yep,
do
very-
mulligan
very
it
true.
away, but if you get it after the mulligan, it's just ink. It's a free ink.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say I definitely like the art for Timon. I think
Yeah,
that's
it's
pretty
beautiful.
dope. I like
good.
that. I'm a fan of that one as well.
Yeah.
I'm also curious because you guys are more in tune with the Lorcana HQ Discord than I am. Were there how many people in were like, oh, we don't know who Sergeant Tibbs is and where he's from? Were there a lot of people like that? Because I know I'm old. I know I'm old.
I wasn't. I was out of town. This was when they showed off the allies, right?
Yes.
Was he one of the
yes.
ones from the allies? Yeah, I think I was
the-
out of
the an-
town
the
that day,
animal,
so I
the
wasn't.
animal allies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which like, oh, that was it. Yeah, because they shared it like, oh, look at all these animal sidekicks, and arguably
Yeah.
2 of them weren't. It's like Sergeant Tibbs isn't an animal sidekick, right?
Yeah.
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 It
Adara
definitely was.
says it was a decent number. I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, like he's a side character in an older movie. Like it's
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've seen that movie when I was younger. That's another one of those VHSs
yeah,
that I probably wore out.
yeah, yeah. I was big on 101. It was great,
Yeah.
but it's I'm really amazed at how wide they're throwing the net on this first set. Honestly,
Mhm.
like I really thought we would just see 10 or so movies, and then like 10 more the next
really?
one, yeah, like it's really surprised me that
I will tell you, I'm the one film that I am waiting in earnest to see. Great Mouse Detective. Like that's the one that I'm just like, oh, I want to see me some Basil cards and
a
some
good
Radigan.
a Radigan card or something. Yeah, he'd make it. Yeah, it's interesting. Organic Chemistry's got a good point there. There's a big mix of like whether people are coming from a TCG or from being a Disney fan, right? Like there's some of us who are both in equal measures or at least to an extent some of the others. But yeah, there's a good few like, and quite openly, like Teddy from the Glimmer Gang, he's like quite openly not really into Disney that much. He's
he's a baby though,
he's
so
he's here for the TCGs.
Last time when you had this, you had the like trivia thing with everyone, and Brandon was like not getting the trivia. I would be worse than him. I know Disney, but I'm bad with trivia. Like
No,
it's
didn't even have to get up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very
look
nice.
at that
Very, very
shining.
nice.
Yeah,
That is very
I
nice.
picked this up this week. It's tough. I won't lie. It's harder than I thought it was going to be.
The trivia?
Yeah. Like I haven't
Oh.
actually opened it yet, but the one card I can see, like in the sort of block of cards, I opened it out to read.
Oh boy.
Yeah, do you want one? Seeing as you got to do us last time, Dan.
Let's hear it.
Let's
hear some.
That's the easy ones for the kids. Hold on, here's the
Along with some rescuers who can
stuff.
go full mouse deck. Yeah, that's right, Turtle Dude.
yeah. In Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Oh, come on. We're
Right?
already okay.
What does the Mickey glove-shaped part of the house turn into?
Mickey. Wait, say that again. Mickey
In
Mouse
the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Okay.
What does the glove-shaped part of the house turn into?
The glove-shaped part of the house.
I realize I've got to open this to see the answers, and when I read it's all sealed up. And when I read this, I was like, I've got no idea. But as I've read it to you again, I think I might know. I think it turns into a hot air balloon.
For me personally, I'm trying to
I
think
think it
of
is.
my
I think it
times-
is. I think it is the hot air balloon. Yeah.
my times
Yeah.
at Disneyland. Thinking at that
Yeah.
part with the Mickey house.
My kids, when my kids were younger, they'd watch that. Yeah. Yeah, but I think you're right. I think it is hot air balloon.
Yeah, it was.
Is it? Yeah.
Here's the other one. So the other ones. So here's an easy one. What French word does Miss Piggy use to refer to herself?
Miss Piggy.
Yeah.
Miss Piggy refer to herself.
I
don't know. That's a
Well, what's French for me?
moi.
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 Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Like
Okay,
that's like kind of a trick question, but not.
Yeah.
And here's the other one I didn't know. Peter Pan receives a present with a card that reads, "To Peter with love from Wendy." What was the gift and who was it actually from? Do you remember this at all? And reading the back, I'm like, oh, that seems like it's a big part of the story, but I do not remember that at all.
Is it oh my goodness, a thumb? Goodness, what is
thumb?
it?
The severed thumb of a lost boy.
Thimble, a thimble. That's the word I was
thimble.
looking.
Yeah.
I was looking for. What is it? What is that?
Organic chemistry got it. It was from Hook. It was a bomb from Captain Hook.
Oh,
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
No,
yep.
I don't.
Yep.
So there you go.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be like much tougher than I thought it was going to be.
All right, give me one more. Give me one more.
All right, hold on. I got a good one.
Well, you get that up. I have
a
Harry Potter trivia. Same thing. And the questions are so hard because you have to actually know like some spells. They say like
love your
what's
song.
the name of this spell?
Love your song.
Oh, geez. This is okay. Give me a number 1 to 5, and I'll read out the number. There's 5 to choose from.
All right, 2.
What is the name? That better be 2 cards stuck together. It is, because that's not the right answer. What is the name of the retirement village in Up? These are tough.
No,
I want to say something with sun, but I don't think that's right.
It's like shady. It's like Shady Oaks or something.
It's exactly Shady Oaks. Shady
Yes!
Oaks Retirement Village. There you
Got
go.
it.
I'm not sure I'd have got that. These are full on, and it's a real wide. So it's a real wide
swath
as well. So in this one card, the first one is about Pinocchio. The second one is about Up. The third one is from Descendants.
Oh my goodness!
Which is a live-action Disney kids show about like the kids of the villains, right?
Yes, it is. My daughter loves the songs in that.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched the episode. Cars 3.
Yep. What's the last one?
How are fairies made according to the legend in the Disney Fairies movie?
Oh my goodness.
That's so like these are deep cuts, aren't they? Like I was shocked.
Yeah. Give me the Cars 3 one. Give me that Cars question.
Oh, it's not a very good one. In Cars 3, next gen racers use what to train instead of racing on an actual track?
They use a screen, and it's like on a. I've got it pictured in my head. I just can't remember the
Just
name of it.
treadmill?
It's like a simulator. It's a simulator.
It's steroids is the answer, actually. Yeah, that's
What?
steroids. No, it's it just says race simulator. Like
yeah, race simulator.
yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. Lightning McQueen was like, "Get me on the simulator." All he wanted to do the simulator, and then when he got on the simulator, he destroyed it. Yep.
Oh no, I don't think I've
Yes.
seen 3. Is that the one where they go to Europe as spies?
No, that's 2.
Oh, is
That's
it?
2. Yeah, 3 is the one where Lightning is getting ready to retire, and he's losing a step, and then it's these next gen racers, and there's one that's faster than him, and
Oh yeah.
so
It's like a Rocky.
Yeah,
Like
pretty
a-
much.
like a-
He
yeah.
passes the torch. He passes the torch onto somebody else. So
Wow.
yeah. Anyway,
But yeah, I picked that up this week, and it's tough.
you clearly haven't cracked it open yet.
No, that was it. That was
Parties.
literally the first go. And then look, and these I got as well. Look, I think I'm going to do a video about these, like old
Wow.
Disney card
Sick.
trading cards. So not games, just trading cards. So there's
Yeah.
Gargoyles,
Gargoyles, Lion King,
Lion King Series 2.
Wow.
Couldn't get Series 1.
Oh,
yeah, Aladdin,
Aladdin.
Skybox. There we go,
Yeah.
man. Disney
Remember
collector
those?
cards.
And then these one, I got 3 packs of these.
Wait a minute.
Fancy.
Dude, does anyone collect those? Because I don't know anyone.
I don't know anybody.
I
So
don't know
they
any-
therefore don't exist. Sorry, Wero. And then these ones, these are in a box.
Oh,
Disney
interesting.
Wow.
Premium trading cards.
Wow, cool.
Right? I
Nice.
think
Where
those are
did you get those?
I was at Anime North, which is a big anime convention in Toronto.
Mhm.
We have a. I'm not an anime guy, but we have a stand
Yeah.
there selling stuff for the store.
Uh-huh.
So there's a gaming area
Yeah.
in the
Mhm.
Yeah.
and then these were it was basically a stand that had boxes of card games and trading cards from. Oh, they had hundreds and hundreds, they like
Yeah.
Cabbage Patch Kids and Garbage Pail Kids and all those, But
all
I
the
was like,
cards,
oh, well,
all the cards that I have on my desk right now are all Alpha Clash.
Alpha Clash is that?
Alpha
Yeah.
Clash
Oh, that's a
cards,
fancy one. Look at that.
Yeah. Ridge just sent me a bunch of stuff here
That's
for,
awesome.
for helping them out with some stuff.
I
Um,
cleaned my cards off, but I have proxies.
You've got proxies. Yeah.
Lorcana ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, but that's that, and again, we talked about it before. Like that's just the one thing that I'm interested how some of these companies approach TTS stuff and proxy
Mhm.
stuff, and like what their mindset is behind the scenes. If they care, or if they're gonna be like, yeah, we need to shut this down. Like it's something that's interesting to me.
Quite quickly, having talked to a few people about it, I came to my decision personally that I was just going to leave it alone.
Yeah, same.
But other channels haven't and have done well because of it, and I wish them every success. But for me personally, like I can only decide how comfortable I feel about it,
Right.
and that's where I fell. Right, so.
On the other thing too, like right now at this moment in time, with the card pool, and one of the reasons I don't want to be brewing anything is if I brew something now, and we talked about it on the stream, tonight, is we literally just got a new card and it's going to fit into this thing. Now I'm going to retool it to do this. I don't have the time. Like I don't have the time to be constantly, remessing with stuff. And that's why I'm just like, for me personally, I'm just like, I would just rather wait until, because like I view it as a problem solving thing. And it just in my head, I just would not be able to, it wouldn't sit right with me of this is an incomplete set of data. I don't feel like I've effectively solved the problem, But again, and I fully realize that's a personal preference.
My other worry was that I find a play style or a deck that I really like, and then more cards come out, and it's then terrible.
Yeah, it's bad.
Like, this used to be good.
Yeah,
like that's my like the weenies. That the sort of decks full of 1s and 2 drops. I always enjoy playing that. Like my Magic Standard deck for the last couple of sets has been basically a weenie deck, like Phyrexian weenies, and then before that it was like a soldiers from Brothers War was soldiers, and Dominaria was soldiers. But I quite like that. They sort of get 1 and 2 drops down quick, never have to worry about mana, worrying about mana, and just get stuff down before the opponent is ready for you, kind of thing. If we see 10 board wipes in the first set, like that's not going to be a viable deck, right? So that's my worry, is that I start playing with Stitch Rockstar, and then all of the 1-drop allies and all that, and what's the really good Maleficent, the 1-drop Maleficent for 2 lore,
the 1/1/2. Yeah.
But then they all get crushed by a couple of cards that everyone has in their deck. So that's the main reason I don't want to do stuff, is that I don't want to get really set on a deck archetype and it not be good.
Yeah, that's why, like, with we were talking about Gantu. It's like, what in the world is shutting off 1 and 2 drops from attacking? Like,
I just don't like. Obviously, a lot of cards, like we've talked about tonight, Lady Tremaine, Wolfsbane, for instance, like they get better or worse depending on how many more cards we see. Lady Tremaine gets better the more actions we see. She gets worse if we don't see many more. Wolfsbane gets better the more we see, like pinging damage or AoE damage, and worse if we don't. I don't know what other cards we see that changes how good Gantu's ability is.
Yeah, they replied on Twitter about that. Something with like like you have to wait and see. There's more things and something like that.
There was a reply of you'll have to be prepared or something.
Yeah.
How do you make Gantu worthwhile in your deck when it seems lackluster, as the small attack creatures will just quest instead? The reply was, Gantu gives you the safety of choosing which challenges you want to take on. Keep in mind that if your opponent is flooding the board, not giving them the option to remove your characters can be pretty strong. I disagree. With the designer of the game.
look at my reply to
I'm sorry, I'm reading D Summon's list of all of them. I'm not actually on Twitter myself. Is your reply just bullshit?
I definitely want to know what your reply was, Cable.
I replied with, "Nice try. You cannot convince me that Gantu is a good card."
I'm with you, buddy.
Yeah. Because that's a thing that I, once I found out about like how this game functions, it's like, but attacking is effectively the non-aggro play, like that. You don't attack to win. You're attacking to defend, and you're attacking to react
and to slow them down.
Yeah. So it's really, really, really interesting. So, anyway. All right. Well, man, guys, we've been streaming for a little over 3 hours now, gentlemen. So we'll wrap it up here, guys, for the night. John, do you got any? What are some of your final thoughts, sir?
Happy to see cards getting revealed again.
Yeah.
Happy that it doesn't look like any sort of like emergency injunctions taking place. So launch should go ahead as usual. Again, like people have said, most likely that just a check gets written and we don't hear any more of it. Back on track. I feel like I say I've stepped away for a couple of weeks while I haven't really felt there's been much to say, so it's nice to see some stuff now, and I feel like we just have to continue with that ramp up to launch now.
Yeah, we're getting prepped and ready for, we're planning on doing like, set review of, all the cards from each different color, and then we've got probably going to do like a top 10 list for us, and I've got a lot of stuff that I want to do, but I need the cards.
Yeah.
And
I'm
then,
actually
and then we'll start brewing.
I've written most of the lyrics for my next parody song as well.
Nice.
But I
right.
need cards. It's like I can't do another one about the game coming soon. I need the next one's going to be it's called Build Your Deck to the tune of Be Our Guest. And it's going to be about putting a deck together. So I need the cards for some of the clips, so yeah, I need the game. Like I'm itching. Look, I need the game. You got any more of that?
You got
any more of them
cards?
reveals?
All right, Rochelle, you heard it here, guys. We need the we need the cards.
Some of those Lorcana reveals.
Yeah,
I'd be amazed if she's still listening.
What's that?
I would be amazed if she's still listening.
Yeah.
Ravensburg would nowhere near pay her enough to sit here and listen to shite for 3 hours.
Yep. Cable, you got any last thoughts, sir?
Not really. I just want more cards, just like you. I have been playing a lot on Pixelborn. I enjoy it. For me, I'm a creature of habit, so like I need the repetitive of like playing the game, getting used to the mindset of, because I'm coming from Pokemon, which completely plays different. I'm not used to like the Magic style of tapping your your lands and all that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I do wonder if that's better though. Like
it might be. It might be
coming from something that is so different.
Pokemon is really good about, you have to sequence things in order. So like if you want to draw cards, if you want a specific card, you can go into your deck to grab not that type of card, and then you can do a different action to draw more cards, so there's better chances to find the supporter instead of the Pokemon.
Right. And then just don't forget to attack last, or else you're kind of screwed. As soon as you attack, your turn's over. Your turn's over. You're done. I haven't done that. I've never done that, guys. Never forgotten. No, it's happened. So, all right, guys. Well, we're gonna call it an evening. All right. Hopefully we get more stuff to talk about in the next couple of weeks. So the plan right now is hopefully, let's see. Let me pull up a calendar real quick, because that'll actually be kind of important. As far as what we're gonna do moving forward. So let's look up. There we go. There's a calendar. All right, so we're there. So probably maybe in 2 weeks. Hopefully in 2 weeks we'll have another one of these, assuming we get more stuff to talk about. And then we can get more people on, to chat. And we'll plan it better. So, all right. Well, Jonty,
you don't just get us saddos who are sat around doing nothing on a Friday night anyway.
Yeah. So, Jonty, any last words?
You can find me at the Illumineers on YouTube.
Well, Jonty, it was great, chatting with you again. Been a while.
Let's not make it so long next time. Eh?
Yep. So, Jonty, take care. We'll see you next time, my friend. You see that? I made sure to not do him last.
It'd go for another 30 minutes.
Yeah. So, Cabled, any last words?
No, just excited for the game, and Gen Con's in a month and a half. It's like 40 days.
Yep. It's pretty close. So, all right, Cabled. Well, thank you for being here, sir, and we will talk to you next time, my friend.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
All right, take care. All right, guys. It is. You can do it. There we go. Cool. All right. That's the evening. Turtle Dude, thanks for the fun entertainment to help me get through my night. You are very welcome, Turtle Dude. Very, very welcome. This is a fun one. This is a fun one tonight. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us, and hopefully we should be streaming again next week. Not sure what next week's gonna hold, but it's been a crazy week, and I've got some scripts that I'm working on right now for some Alpha Clash content, and hopefully, yeah, there's actually quite a bit of Alpha Clash content that's coming. Looking forward to that game. But yeah, and then it's kind of gonna be, you know, a lot of Lorcana stuff, hopefully to follow. So yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out with us tonight. I gotta make sure I pull this stuff up correctly here. Oh, that's right. I'm actually not doing it from there, so I need to do it here. All right. So, all right. Well, thanks everybody for hanging out with us tonight. This was a lot of fun. Actually, this was really a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun tonight. You know, a lot of great discussions, a lot of trolling. We all know Jim loves that trolling. Jim loves the troll. So yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out with us. And yeah, be sure to stay tuned to the channel for what we've got coming next week. So thanks everybody for hanging out with us tonight, and we will catch you next time. All right, see you guys.